Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
The ball comes in, and the clock hits triple zeros. How many different ways do you have to win games on the way to a championship? Tonight, in Game 2 of the NBA Finals, there was nothing pretty until the clock hit triple zeros.
Yeah, this finals is over. Thank you to Sean Grandy and Celtics Radio. The Celtics take a 2-0 lead in Perloff. Not all 2-0 leads are the same, but this one feels insurmountable for the Mavericks. Hey, good morning, by the way.
Okay, did you say the same thing when the Phoenix Suns got the first two games off the Bucks? Did you say the same thing when the Celtics went up 2-1 on the Warriors 2 years ago? We've had series that are 2-0, and they're not over. And this at least was close. It wasn't a blowout. We're headed in the right direction for Dallas.
Wait, the only reason why it was close is because the Celtics couldn't hit a three-pointer for most of the game. The Celtics haven't even played an amazing game yet. Jason Tatum hasn't played an amazing game yet. There's still so much more to go for the Celtics. They can dig deeper here. They can get better, and they're still up 2-0.
Well, I mean, you might argue there's way more to go for the Mavs. Like somebody besides Luka could wake up. Kyrie could wake up. They could actually play Tim Hardaway Jr. Somebody could get hot.
If you're hoping for Tim Hardaway Jr.,
well,
good luck
I got
to
to tell you right now, I do not understand why he's not playing. Other players are not playing. I don't know why they're putting Kleba out for those minutes. I feel like Jason Kidd's got some moves left. Now, that being said, yes.
Let's make them then.
This is a huge 2-0 hole. But I've said this before. They still have the best player on the court in Luka. I don't care if he's like the knight in that Monty Python movie. He has no
Bring out your dead.
Yeah, he has no functioning limbs or arms anymore. But he's getting his whole body wrapped before the game. Then he's dropping 30. So they at least have Luka. Now they got to figure out who's going to step up. I heard Doris Burke was saying they need a third person to come to the party. And it looks like P.J. Washington at times. But the other problem is the second person, Kyrie Irving, hasn't been able to come to the party. It's just the Celtics defense on the perimeter is outstanding. So that's a huge problem for Dallas.
Yeah, their defense was phenomenal last night, and forcing Luka into turnovers and forcing Kyrie into turnovers. You mentioned it, Kyrie Irving, 16 points on 18 shots. I mean, just brutal offensively. And you got to credit the Celtics defense, where on the flip side, I don't think Dallas, their defense, what happened? Where did it go? Again, the Celtics are missing three-pointers last night, but that's not because of what the Mavs were doing. That's not because, wow, this was some lockdown defense. They were just missing them, and it still didn't matter.
Well, why is it, explain this X's and O's to me, why is it against the T-Wolves, I never heard or saw anything about Luka on defense. Last night, I saw Luka get beat at least 35 times on defense.
Well, maybe he is hurt.
I think Boston has
too.
a way to actually make him play somebody. For some reason, Luka has to cover somebody, and he didn't cover a soul in the Minnesota series. So there's just no one you can lay off of on Boston. So you can't hide Kyrie, and you can't hide Luka, and that extra energy led to a lot of the turnovers. I think Boston's it's a matchup thing too. They're obviously the best team in the NBA right now, but they're the perfectly wrong matchup for Dallas. Like, Dallas wants to take advantage of your big men, and Boston, you can't do that because Horford and when Porzingis is in there, they just, I don't know what it is. They just play in a way that Dallas can't capitalize on.
No, they can't. And the front court is looking just average.
Yeah,
average. And here's the thing. We're talking about Game 2 last night. Celtics take what appears to be and feels like a very commanding 2-0 lead. This one, this game was a little closer, obviously, than Game 1, which was a blowout. But it still felt like Boston is still getting finding their sea legs in this series, and they're up, and it just, this home court advantage, which we were never sure about with Boston, now is looking really, really big. The one thing is that Porzingis injury. So Porzingis towards the end of the game, when it's awkward with him, it's awkward. He's just all limbs and gangly, and he came down kind of awkwardly, and it could be a re-injure of the calf. We have no idea yet.
Yeah, that would help. His plus minus is huge. He's plus 25 in 2 games. He's unstoppable right now. Like, his shot is falling. His mid range. I don't think he hit any
in front of the basket. right in front of the basket.
Yeah.
It's just a floater, touch. It's beautiful.
But his block shots are incredible, too. For a guy who's coming off an injury, he's running the floor and blocking shots, and he's been great. So if you take him out, that gives Dallas a little more confidence, maybe. The funny thing is, last night, it felt like, to me, I don't know if you felt this way, Dallas was giving their best shot. Like, everything was going in Dallas's way. They were playing sort of their best basketball. Luka was making crazy shots, making crazy passes, and they were like down 4. I was like, wow,
Never a
Dallas.
good sign.
And I thought the broadcast was really pro Dallas. You're like, man, these guys are just really doing everything right. They're trailing by 3, but it felt like Boston took Dallas's best shot during times last game, and it just wasn't enough.
And they did that in game 1, remember? Same thing when Dallas tried to make a comeback in the third quarter, and then Boston was there, and they were ready for it. And they were ready for it last night. And you mentioned other moves that Jason Kidd can go to with the Mavs. I mean, he's going to have to turn into like vintage Phil Jackson, Red Auerbach mixed into one, because I don't really know the moves. Tim Hardaway Jr., okay, maybe. Give him, 10 minutes? Like, I don't know if maybe he can heat up a little bit.
Kid's going to have to play.
Yeah.
Honestly.
By the way, vintage
swap out those glasses for rec specs and let's get out there.
Vintage Red Auerbach turning off the air conditioner in the opposing locker room. Vintage Phil Jackson, here you go, Kobe. Take the ball and win the game.
Here's a book I'd like you to read about
Zen
and the art of motorcycle maintenance.
I don't know about Red Auerbach. Phil Jackson, that was not a strategic guy. But anyway, how about playing Jaden Hardy, playing Tim Hardaway Jr.? I know how you feel about Tim Hardaway Jr., but the guys out there are not helping Luka. You said it yourself. This does not look like a talented team. It looks like Luka and a prayer. It
does. I was watching it last night, and you're welcome to weigh in at 855-212-4227. We're asking if the series is over. I watched it last night. I'm like, man, would this be like the least talented finals team to win if the Dallas Mavericks somehow come back and win this? Like,
were you
you've got
thinking
Luka
that after Minnesota?
I was not, because they look great. And I'm looking at them now, and you're talking about guy for guy on the roster. And maybe this is a function of Boston being so close and having been there before with a lot of these guys, or Drew Holiday being a champion already, or what have you. But like, really, you're going to win a title with Luka and Kyrie. Okay, they're great players. And then your third best player is PJ Washington. Is he the third best player on a title team? Is that right?
Well, who were the guys around Jordan and Pippen? They were journeymen.
I don't know. I just feel like, are they though? Dennis Rodman's in the Hall of Fame.
But
that's for the second three-peat. I just feel like those guys.
They had like Ron Harper at the end of his career, Steve Kerr, like Bill Cartwright. Like, they were good, but you can win with two guys.
Tony Kukoc is in the Hall of Fame. You had a lot of good guys.
On. Those guys, all right. But regardless, like, you can win with two guys in the NBA. Honestly, like, who are the guys around Murray and Jokic? They're not that great
Aaron
either.
Gordon? I mean, these guys, Michael Porter Jr., we're talking about. Well, okay, but we're talking about
KCP. I just think that
champion KCP.
There's
one with the
one
Lakers.
basketball. Like, honestly, who are you going to add? I mean, Kyrie and Luka dribble so much. I'm not sure, like, what's the third guy's never even touched the ball?
Well, that's the thing, though. We're talking about the Mavericks and whether the series is over. You know, if Kyrie's not having a great shooting night, or if the defense is really getting to him, or whatever is going on with the Celtics, who's going to be that third guy? Maybe it will be PJ Washington, but you're asking a lot now for guys who are backs heavily against the wall. And the other thing you and I had talked about, whether or not the experience matters here. And I thought last night you did see experience mattering, because the Mavericks' lack of experience in the finals, I was expecting just their absolute best game plan, their best punch. And instead, I got a lot of turnovers. I got a lot of sloppy. It didn't feel like a team that understood, or I'm sure they understand, like, in their brain, but we're not acting like a team that should have been way more desperate than they appeared to be last night. And again, Luka's injury, this freakish thoracic, basically got like a broken rib maybe, we're not really sure. But then he goes out and plays fine. He's talking trash to the front row. Like, I don't know what to do with that injury report.
Well, I don't think it's effort or anything like that. I just don't think there's anywhere for Luka to go, because Boston defenders are so good at staying in front, moving their feet, and they know Kyrie's game like the back of their hand. They have kryptonite against him. So who is normally, like, you think of the Minnesota series in Dallas, like, big man switches on to Luka, 2 points. A big man switches on to Kyrie, 2 points. Who's the switch? It feels like Luka's man, he gets picked off, and then Tatum's there, or Derek White's there, or some gigantic, awesome guard defender is always there.
Yep.
Luka must be having a really bad week. He must look at the tape and be like, I don't know where to go. Well,
apparently in the huddle, he was telling guys, like, let's go. Like, he's trying to pump everybody up because he probably feels like he's doing it alone. But at the same time, like, that's just, when it's not going great for Dallas, that's what it looks like, And he was doing a lot of that Dirk Nowitzki turnaround off the 1 foot, and it was working basically until the fourth quarter when you saw him get really tired. And it felt like it wasn't working anymore.
Well, I don't even think it was the shooting. I think it was the turnovers.
It was 1 for 6 in the fourth quarter shooting.
Yeah.
0 for 2 from 3.
But 8 turnovers on the
points.
game. Honestly, those turnovers changed everything, too, because when he would fling the ball up blindly behind his back, it would start a fast break for the Celtics. And that was very problematic for Dallas.
Yeah. You think?
Also, remember the one play, he'd dribble, he'd be falling and fling it over his head to knock it off Tatum. There were so many plays that just looked wild by Luka, where he just was like, oh man, I don't know what to do, throw the ball up in the air. So I get it.
This just doesn't look like a championship.
I mean, the other thing, Luka's all hurt, and he comes out just every game. He comes out, he's on fire. He's unstoppable. The Celtics have no answer, but it's just not. You're right. It's not enough.
There's another part of this which feels like when you get to this level and when it's professional basketball at this level, I'm always astounded when teams can't hit their free throws. Astounded. I mean, here we are. It's game 2 of the NBA Finals. You've made it to the finals. 16 for 24 from the line for the Dallas Mavericks. I mean, just atrocious. I mean, they're a bad free throw shooting team, which I don't get because they're a shooting team. I guess, some big men can have trouble with free throws, but 16 for 24. I mean, good grief.
And Boston hasn't even really pulled the hack of Derek Lively, Daniel Gafford card yet. The
Celtics were 19 for 20. That's what I expect from an NBA Finals team from the free throw line. 19 for 20. That's 16 for 24.
Yeah, I mean, but it is a bit. I mean, Gafford's a huge problem at the free throw line. He's terrible. But that is historically, you do have that, hack the big man and watch him miss free throws. Why Luka can't hit them all, that's a little surprising. But I think he's just exhausted. So what was Luka from the line? 4 for 8. That's a problem.
I mean, what are we doing here?
It's really just like, for some reason, Luka does not have the energy to hit his free throws right now. I think he's exhausted.
Well, and do you want to blame it on the injury? This
No,
has
I
been
don't.
a major point of contention both on the show and off the show. We've got text threads going, Luka's injury reports being updated. It's a constant theme on the show. Is Luka over-exaggerating these injuries?
The dude wrapped his whole body like a mummy before the game over his warm-up. There's no medical function for that other than to show the cameras.
It was on over his warm-ups. What does that do?
I have no idea. I didn't understand.
Wrapped around a sweatshirt, basically.
Wow, Luka is two games, 4 for 8 last night from the free throw line, 2 for 5 the game before. I mean, the free throws might have been the difference in the game last night. I'm not sure that. I felt like Boston had left a few bullets in the gun. Sorry, that's inappropriate. But generally, I thought Boston could have done more. I'm not sure that the missed free throws, 8 missed free throws, would have made all the difference. But Luka's got to really focus on that area because we're comparing him to Michael Jordan and Kobe. Like, Kobe never missed finals free throws.
You can't. It's just not at this level. It's one of the storylines of this game. And now the Celtics, again, have a 2-0 advantage over the Dallas Mavericks, and we're asking you if the series is over. You're wondering whether it's going to be over by Friday.
Well, yes, for an important reason.
All right, well, hold that.
Very important reason. It's going to be a fun Friday.
Wait a minute. We're not 100% sure this is going to go down on Friday.
Well, okay.
Wait, save it for a sec. We'll come back.
Yeah,
because we got to set up the
sure.
week here. We're just getting going. It's Monday. We got a big weekend to react to. We got the M&P 500, our new segment, Stock Up, Stock Down. We've got Caitlin Clark's snub to react to. We have Danny Hurley news that we're still waiting on. We've got so much to do. Yet now I'm like fast forwarding to Friday.
Yeah, you're trying to delay here, Maggie. Something bad is coming and you cannot avoid it.
Train's coming down the tracks, man.
You cannot avoid what's coming. If it's not Friday, it's not going to be long after that.
I feel like I'm staring into the headlights. We'll tell you what we mean in just a moment. 855-212-4227. Again, you are welcome to weigh in on whether or not this series is over. You can follow us at Maggie and Pearl on the Twitter. That's just one of the ridiculous noises I'll be making. If what we think is going to go down on Friday actually does go down. I want to get that dump button ready, Pete.
For more reasons than one.
Yeah, exactly. 855-212-4227. We come back because a big decision still looming out there for Danny Hurley. We'll get you up to speed on all the latest. Plus, you're welcome to weigh in on the NBA Finals. Don't move.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. "45 seconds remaining. "30 seconds remaining. 15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back to Maggie Perloff. So we mentioned it last segment. It's going to be a long week for your girl here. We have some bets to be paid off. A very interesting one with E.J. Stewart and Pete Bellotti that we'll get into later. But I think the first one to be paid off will be Maggie losing a double or nothing bet. I can't even remember. What was the first bet on? Something basketball.
No, what was the first one? It must have been an earlier.
God, we don't even remember the stakes. Anyway,
we need EJ. He's
you
still in London.
were betting on
Oh,
Nuggets Timberwolves.
Yes.
And then
I doubled down for
Right.
T-Wolves Mavericks. Thank you, Bogusch.
so I'm
Brains
making
are
you
working,
eat a
yeah.
Minnesota food, and
Yeah.
Minnesota is known for their gelled fish products, according to the internet, like lutefisk. But there's an even grosser option: lime jello tuna casserole kind of thing.
Yeah.
So on Friday, perhaps, or not long after, toward the end of the series, we're going to pay this off. I have a plan. We are going to actually, as a group, anyone who wants to jump in, going to make it in the pantry here.
Lutefisk.
What's that?
Played your own chop.
Oh,
That's you.
So we're going to play lime jello, tuna fish, green olives in a mold, and make Maggie eat it on air / throw up on air. I actually gagged in the car this morning thinking about this.
You know, the one thing I didn't think about this is going to be disgusting. And don't forget, I have to also eat the Rocky Mountain oysters. That's the double down. Or I took your punishment, and I now have to eat that also.
Can I put
Maybe
that in
in
the
the
line?
Jello.
That's going to be hard to execute, but okay.
So the other part of this I didn't think about, and we're still relatively new to the time slot. Now, you've already paid off one food eating bet since we've been in the mornings.
Yeah.
You ate a bowl full of Skyline chili with no hands. That was our first week in the mornings. I didn't think about, not only eating this disgusting thing, it's early in the morning. That's not good.
Sounds like
That doesn't matter in this spot.
yeah, actually, like sounds like an excuse.
it's a realization. I got to sit with it for a second.
Is there an hour of the day where you would like to eat a lime jello tuna mold?
I'm just saying tuna fish is not a breakfast food.
You could argue jello is breakfasty.
Yeah, and I don't think that your tummy knows what time it is.
Also,
think
you're
it
already been up
does.
for half a day.
Yeah.
At 9 a.m.
Yeah, can we do it the last segment of the show or something?
Yeah. You're definitely going to throw up.
That's your concern?
That's my concern.
When you're eating this edifice? Or whatever put together?
Wrong word.
This Oedipus
thank you.
Rex. Yes, it is actually. If it's later in the day, maybe I can warm up with a little bit, a couple shots of Jägermeister. I don't know.
We could do those in the morning, too.
Something to take the edge off.
So,
fine.
you know, there's two kinds of tuna fish. There's the solid white and the, what is it, chunk light it's called. We're definitely going with the chunk light, which is kind of like darker. That's going to be nasty.
You're telling me the time of day doesn't matter? Just mentioning that 6:30 this morning in the East Coast is making me gag.
So, what about the mayonnaise mixing in with the chunk light tuna and then put that in a jello mold? How's that work for you, Maggie?
Can you put mayonnaise in Jello? Whatever, just throw it all in.
Right now, hopefully there are people out there on edibles from the night before who are enjoying this discussion.
Oh, Kaplan just put the picture up on YouTube. I got to get off our YouTube channel. I'm sorry.
It is nasty.
You should watch it. YouTube.com/InfinitySportsNet. I cannot look at that this morning.
I offered you a triple or nothing, and I was going to take the Mavs, but you said this is enough. Like the punishments were getting too
I
steep.
can't. This is like fool me once and all this stuff.
The
Shame on me.
The triple or nothing should be, she should have to drink it. Like, it has to be
before it
has to be
even gels?
Blended, and then she drinks it.
I'm really going to be sick here. Next day, I'm going to have to do it like upside down on like the cyclone or something.
I mean, the thing is, we're going to have to watch this, so we all might throw up as well. This is a bit of a problem.
Have we just decided how much she has to eat?
A spoonful.
Wait. No.
Whole thing.
Who said
No, not
a
the whole thing.
spoonful? Who said a spoonful? You said that as if that had been predetermined.
Like a spoonful of sugar. You know?
I-
that doesn't go down.
That does not make the medicine go down.
I say,
Like enough to get the point across. How about that?
okay. It was a Minnesota-Denver series. How many games did that go?
5?
No. Did it go 5 or 6?
No, it went 6. No, it went 7. It went 7.
Oh,
Yeah.
it went-
right. Because
yeah.
Denver
It
was
went
up
7.
58-38.
Sorry, I was thinking about Minnesota and Dallas.
Yeah,
that went
that was
5.
quick.
So let's go with 7 bites.
This is not going to go
7
well.
bites for 7 games.
It's going to go bad.
I'll wear a clothespin. This will be hilarious.
There's got to be some strategies to sort of.
No.
Well, I think one of them, Maggie, is that not every bite is going to have every taste in it. So you have to.
Oh, that sounds grosser
We'll have to
for some
watch
reason.
it, but you can be strategic in what you're scooping out of there.
I'd rather everything have every bite of everything in it because then maybe I'll get used to it. I don't want to be like, all of a sudden a green olive comes out of left field and just hits me right in the back of the.
Or you might have more lumps in one bite, and you might have it in another bite.
Oh, don't use that word.
And your lumps is awful. That's a terrible
Saying.
word. Wait, so you're making this? I thought your daughters were going to make this.
I think I'm making
Not
it.
safe for them to make it.
Anybody who wants to join
Like
me.
safety goggles
Hazmat
on.
suit.
I was actually thinking about we can make it in
Things are
the
boiling
You
and
have to be
bubbling
18
up
and sign a waiver.
like a lab.
we'll make it in the kitchen right here. Boomer Esiason will walk in and say, "What the heck are you guys doing?" That'll be great.
Someone's going to puke in the men's bathroom sink. Maybe me.
I think we can all sort of everybody who wants a hand in this thing.
Well, I don't think it's going to set fast enough, though.
No, do it on Thursday to be ready for Friday.
Oh, okay.
Are you going to leave it in a company fridge?
Yes, leave
With
it
what?
in a-
Please don't eat
Trust
on
me.
it. Like, don't worry.
I don't think you need that sign.
That's not the worst smell in that fridge.
This is like a don't
by
move the
way,
cheese thing.
The actual smell of that fridge will contribute to the grossness.
Oh,
It'll be like the 4th grossest thing in that fridge.
Is there mold on it?
There's currently a wedding cake. There's like a tiered cake that's been there since last week. That's just, taking up half of an entire shelf of the fridge. Imagine though you bite into that and it's got the essence of lutefisk after a while. I'm just sitting there.
Did someone get married and they're just stashing their wedding cake in there for a year?
They've done gimmicky stuff upstairs where the music stations are, but like this has now been in there since I think last Wednesday. So either they got it way too soon, or something terrible happened to the wedding, and it never actually
that
happened.
must have been Odyssey coins. It must have got a big cake.
Odyssey bucks. Yeah. Someone sent me one of those. It's like, great, thanks.
Have a pen.
Okay, and this is for the audience too. What is an Odyssey buck again? If like you're nice
Odyssey
to a
coin.
coworker, they give you some credit or something.
Yeah.
We're
you
still
do it.
trying to
It's like
figure
a
it out.
shroot buck
What can you
from the office.
what can you spend it on?
Odyssey gear. I wasn't kidding.
Well, then we can win a
Pens,
trip,
hats,
though.
socks.
Apparently, we can win a trip. I think.
Where?
Somewhere.
I always need pens around here, so I can maybe use my Odyssey bucks to get a pen.
My favorite Odyssey coin story was last year, the year before, when it was National Employee Appreciation Day. Everyone got Odyssey coins from Odyssey, but it was not enough to get anything from the store.
Just get you started.
Yeah, the cheapest thing was still more coins than they gifted all of us.
I'm stocking up.
Somebody sent me one of those because I don't want to seem like I'm being ungrateful. I had to do some voiceover work for somebody and do like this rather large project that took me definitely like an hour, which, as a broadcaster, I have like a rate, about voiceover work, and they paid me in Odyssey coins. It was like 1. Like, thank you.
Or whatever.
Thank you. And I'll
Pickled
pay
herring.
you back with this cat jello that I'm about to eat. Anyway.
Oh yeah.
Where are you getting the oysters from, or do I need to get those? Because I'll gladly get those.
I think I want to save the oysters. I don't want to waste the oysters by putting them in this Jello mold because they'll be, the tuna is what's really going to get you.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to admit, having a bull's testicle floating around in that Jello is fascinating, but it's almost like too much.
Not when I'm drinking my tea.
I
please.
think it's too heavy for the Jello. I don't think the Jello could keep it suspended.
Well, that's an interesting science experiment.
Does it
We'll
float?
find out.
We need to get Bill Nye, the science guy, on to help us make this.
Give it a whirl.
How big was the bowl?
Yeah.
Let's get to some headlines. So that's a little what's going on. I don't want to do this without EJ here.
We do it today.
Oh,
Still in London.
Maggie, the number of excuses you throwed out this morning, you're like, well, I don't know if the series is going to be over. I don't know, it's June and blah, blah, blah. You cannot get out of this. We might as well do it.
I think EJ would be offended if we did this without him.
I actually agree with that.
When's he back?
Back Monday.
2 months.
Oh, he's out this entire week?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And then
Manny's
I'm
in today. Good morning, Manny.
I'm
Hi,
off
guys.
the 21st, next Friday. Not this Friday, next Friday. So it can't be that Friday either. So now we're
do
pushing
Monday.
I'm pushing Maggie back until the end of June.
You can't do it on a Monday.
Dude,
That's
Monday,
just,
like
Tuesday.
No.
Monday hits with a thud. You can't also have me eating tuna fish.
That's going
cat
to hit
food.
with a thud, too. I
why
mean,
would
come
EJ
on.
want to be here? He'll throw up too. We're all going to throw up. It's going to be a
Leading the charge on
vomitorium
this.
in here.
He should be helping you in the kitchen.
Vomitorium.
It's going to be like that scene in that movie Stand By Me, the
Yeah.
pie eating contest. When one person throws up and there's tuna jello all around, everyone's going to be
Like a
sick.
scene in Family Guy.
Yeah, it's going to be terrible.
You're welcome, America. Again, you can watch this show, youtube.com/Infinity Sportsnet, twitch.tv/Infinity Sports Network. We're really trying to get Twitter on here, so maybe we should send them this clip. Maybe they'll
The X
have
platform?
us. Yeah, I should start calling it X. So that's what's going on with that.
I have an idea. I think we should all have steaks while you have that.
Ooh.
Oh, you get to eat something good while I eat something gross?
Yeah, that'll be fun. I really want a steak. I'm dying for a steak. I haven't had a steak in a long time.
I was going to say, do
you
you
don't
have
want to pay for
have a
it.
craving?
That's right.
It's a bit
Okay.
early for a steak.
No, not in this world.
You're just starving is what's
Yes.
going on. Okay. How about a bacon? That's a little more appropriate for this time of the day.
Yes. Big
Oh, we all
slab of
get.
bacon.
How about like a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich?
There we go.
You're going to puke it up once you watch me with the Jello.
No, I have clothespins. I gotta get some clothespins for everybody, and we'll be fine. I
I'd
think.
also consider a poncho. 855-212-4227. We are asking you if the NBA Finals are over. We've got so much more news. We got Caitlin Clark. We got Dan Hurley. Bogusch has all the latest headlines. Hello.
It's all sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Protect your family, your phone, your furry friends with life, electronic device, and pet health insurance. Thoracic contusion sounded like a good thing as Luka Doncic overcame the ailment to score 13 first-quarter points, 23 in the first half of Game 2 of the Finals in Boston, but only 9 points in the second, including 3 in the fourth as his Mavs fell into an 0-2 hole. Luka's final line reads 32 points, 11 rebounds, 11 assists, but also 4 missed free throws and 8 turnovers.
My turnovers and my missed free throws cost us a game, so I got to do way better in those two categories.
The Celtics winning 105-98 despite Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum combining to go 2 for 12 from 3. The team just 10 of 39. Drew Holiday was their leading scorer with 26 plus 11 boards. Derek White throwing in 18. The concern for Boston is Kristaps Porzingis maybe aggravating his right calf injury.
Yeah, no, something. I don't even know what it is, to be honest. But yeah, I'll be good.
KP watched the
That's
final.
encouraging. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Great.
Yes, no, maybe.
You're 7'2", have a calf injury. That's cool.
He watched the final 4:40 of the game after apparently tweaking that leg. He thinks he'll get some fresh imaging between now and Game 3 in Dallas on Wednesday night.
Why would he want fresh imaging? Like, that's the last thing you want. Like, don't take an image of this dude's calf. Just get him out there.
It is decision day for Dan Hurley, the UConn coach, telling ESPN the Lakers made a compelling case to be their coach, but he does love his Huskies. Hurley expects to make his pick today. My Uncle Mike's a big Yankee fan, texted me yesterday to complain about Trent Grisham and his .083 batting average, hitting fifth last night, and this is why Uncle Mike's not the Yankee manager.
Grisham lines one to right, deep. Oh, where is that ball going to land in the bleachers? Trent Grisham, how about that? Oh, he hit the cover off the ball. Adios, amigo.
Ricky Ricardo, I swear that's his name on Yankee radio. Go ahead 3-run homer for Grisham. Aaron Judge adding the 24th of his season to cap a 6-4 win over the Dodgers. The Bombers avoiding a 3-game sweep. In the afternoon, the Orioles got a 9-2 win in Tampa Bay. They go for a 4-game sweep there today. Adley Rutschman, a grand slam, 6 RBI. Those Rays have dropped 12 of 16 at home. Giants tight end and heartbroken rapper Darren Waller is retiring after 9 seasons at just 31 years old. Waller has been debating his playing future all offseason. Going home gets the Giants nearly $12 million in cap savings.
Wait, did you guys see the story that he almost died in November?
Yeah, his story.
His story that he had what he thought was a COVID attack on a couch and called 911. This guy is there's a 30 for 30 going on here. I don't know. It doesn't seem all kosher, his retirement, right? Like, he seems to be struggling.
Definitely.
I know you're a fan of his work.
Well, now I feel bad because I think I said the computer could have come up with something better than him, and I
You're
wasn't
not
sure
a fan of his
maybe the
rap.
computer did it. I just said, maybe this is the kind of thing like a letter you write to someone and you put it in a drawer, or an email you send and you just put it to drafts. You don't actually press send on it. That's what I thought should have happened with that song.
Well, I mean, then he had another song about retirement. Like, the guy lives out his life in song, Maggie. You can't stop him.
Yeah, I know.
EJ
Not
said
exactly
that- EJ
John
said that-
Lennon and Paul McCartney doing the same thing.
EJ said the music wasn't that bad. And he's not here to defend him.
Compared to what?
Tuna and Jello.
I'm with him. I think Darren Waller sounds like most athletes rapping, which is
It's quite. That's quite a
Which is like
compliment.
50 Cent
well,
on a
actually,
first
he sings
pitch.
too, which makes him even more trouble. But what if he goes on to be a gigantic star
In what field?
in music?
Oh.
He is. I don't know. We're watching his videos. He's got the platform. He can improve.
I don't know. Is he still going to have this actress who's pretending to be Kelsey Plum in all these videos? Like, a little on the nose, pal.
Yeah,
Let's make
and
it a
it
little
worked.
artier.
What's the point of a video if not to get attention? I think that was well done by Darren Waller. I mean, listen, he's got a nose for marketability. I think he's going to be a gigantic. I went to Gov Ball this weekend. We'll get into that later.
Yeah,
This,
Dad of the year.
this outdoor concert. I tell you, he was as good as half those acts.
That's Dad in the back, just miserable.
Oh my God! I'm like, what? This is what you're listening to? That was me.
And you wore the exact shirt I would have worn too.
Just like a
Kind of looked cool, thought it was cool. I don't know if it was that Tahiti on it. Like, I've been
Yeah.
there. I got those shirts.
no, it's like a blue
I mean,
T-shirt.
what are you wearing today? Maui something?
Yeah, this is a fundraising shirt at least. This was for after the fires. But yeah, I mean, like,
okay.
but that's what I would have gone with. Like, what looks cool in my closet.
So
my Tahiti shirt.
Come out Sunday.
One thing I did do is I demanded that everyone wear a sweatshirt because it was going to get cold at night.
Bring a jacket.
Yeah.
nothing says I'm a dad at a
entire
concert. More than,
I'm holding 5 sweatshirts in my hands because
That's what
it's
you
about
get.
1,000 degrees there. Not once did anyone put on this sweatshirt because I'm like, it's going down to the 60s at 8 p.m. I don't want to be. I don't want anybody to complain. And then they all bought sweatshirts too. So now I'm holding 8 sweatshirts by the end of the
just a
concert.
clothes rack.
Yeah, I look like a snowman. There's so many sweatshirts.
Good thing you were there. Who would have held the shirts?
Gotta wear jeans. It's gonna get breezy.
But I'll tell you, you laugh.
Hydrate.
Darren Waller will definitely be on stage 4 by next year because there was
Stage
some
4.
terrible
Stage
music.
40.
Yeah. Oh no, he's making it. But Maggie, you were wrong about this one. Darren Waller has a future in music, not in football.
That sounds like a triple or nothing bet.
No. Let me just get out of here with my stupid thing I got to eat. I don't
No
want
one
anything that counts on Darren Waller to be doing jack.
I don't know. I'm winning that because nothing can stop the man from recording. Not even lack of
This
all
is when you
musical.
have too much money.
Yeah,
How about
not
we
even
lock the
all
studio?
All lack of musical talent is not a problem for that man. By the way, he's gigantically strong. I'm not going to mess with him. That's the other thing.
Yeah, he'd crush you like a grape.
The LA Sparks outscored the Aces last night 96-92 for their first back-to-back wins of the season. Cameron Brink, 8.6 rebounds and 5 blocks. Scotty Scheffler won the Memorial despite a 2/74 in yesterday's final round. He finished 1 shot clear of Colin Morikawa, becoming the first since Tiger in 07-08 to win 5 times in 8 starts.
What a guy.
And hey, then that baby was there. That made everybody so angry. The baby's born, happy, healthy.
Everybody's
He was
so
at the course
angry.
yesterday. I know.
That baby. Grr.
I actually thought of that when he brought out the baby. Then I'm like,
the damn thing
that's
is.
just to show Bogusch, who was so mad that he was playing poker with that baby. Like, I
Wanna
might
see
leave the
it?
Masters.
They should have held it up like Simba. Just like, here it is, everybody.
Yeah.
This is the man you arrested.
They had these very intense ear guards around him, so because it is kind of dangerous to have a. I thought it was pretty poor parenting to have a 1-month-old at a golf tournament. I mean,
Made a
whatever.
lot
I'm
of
not
poor
going to get.
decisions this month.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's praising him like, what a beautiful baby, what a beautiful family. I'm like, I don't know if this is a good move right now.
Also, before I don't know if you guys have another instance. Before Drew Brees put the headphones on his kid, I had never seen that before.
Nope.
Who cares about their ears?
Yeah.
before
Now we know.
2010.
Yeah, now we know.
Now we know, right?
Yeah. The fact that you probably
She's like
can't
the-
hear a thing, Maggie.
I can't hear anything. I know this job's going to make me go deaf. And how I know? Because it's made everyone before us go deaf.
That's
Yeah.
right.
There's nobody who has worse hearing than radio broadcasters. We are just talking into our own heads.
Oh, man. You should have seen Dan Patrick's hearing at the end. Dan loves going to concerts, too. That adds to it. How about our former boss, Spike Eskin? That dude's ears are shot.
He's got tinnitus. He's like 45.
Yeah.
His hips falling out of his body.
Feels
He's a
a little-
mess.
I did not need to wear headphones at the governor's ball because I was never within 1.5 miles of any stage.
In fact, you're like, turn it up. Like,
Who's this guy standing right in the middle of the whole area?
Yeah. Yeah.
With
I could
8
not get
sweatshirts.
further away from sexy red.
Is that what they asked for?
It's a cease and
You
desist,
back
actually.
up, sir?
Yeah.
Yes. Can you get out of our camera shot?
And this is how we know you're nothing like any professional athlete.
Oh, yeah.
The total opposite. They will only want to get close to sexy red.
I don't know.
We've seen the DMs.
I actually sexy red real quick governor's ball story. I said to my daughter, who I took, 13-year-old, hey, it sounded like Sexy Red was playing the same song over and over again. She goes, you just don't understand her music. Yes, she did play the same song 3 times, but you still don't understand her music. I'm like, she played the same, it was an 8-song set, and she played the same song 3 times.
It's an art.
Yeah, it's artier than whatever Darren Waller's putting out.
He was actually, I think he might have been on stage. No. What if Darren Waller becomes this gigantic musician star? Oh, that would be so funny.
There is not a machine in the world big enough to do this.
Which is why you should triple or nothing this.
No.
You're not going to lose on Darren Waller's music career.
No, because all of a sudden when he's opening up for Taylor, I'm not going to be here sitting eating the goat's anus. Like, it's not happening.
And Scotty
was
Scheffler's in the front
Jay's-
row holding up the baby like Simba
Another
with
baby.
headphones on.
Goat's anus.
That's Jay in Nashville. That's always his. He thinks that we don't do enough in these challenges because we're not eating goat anus. I'm like, chill.
Oh.
I'm eating tuna fish jello. Are you not entertained? And it might be Friday. I'm not sure.
Well, now we have to wait for EJ. You made me feel
EJ's
guilty.
going to be, he would be mad about that.
He would.
He would.
He was really looking forward to that.
Sure.
It'd be unfair.
We have major news about EJ, by the way, which
Major.
which I think we feel obligated and compelled to share with our audience. 855-212-4227. Bogusch, thanks so much. Coming up, we'll get to this big news, show news, really, about EJ, and also the Dan Hurley decision is coming down any moment. We'll tell you the pros and cons for him taking the Laker job next.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. 2 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Chapel and we're gonna get married. Going to the
Big news around here, and we feel comfortable saying this to our audience. Welcome back, by the way, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff, because EJ put this on social media. How about EJ tweeting this out yesterday? Commitment secured from my one and only number one recruit, no transfer portal. He and Andrea are getting married, so we want to congratulate them. And obviously, when EJ gets back from London, we'll do something proper. But
amazing.
How exciting.
What a trip. A couple things that stood out of this trip. He went to the Mets-Phillies games, but also he did this British Bake-Off experience where you get to, I think you pay for it, but he won the British Bake-Off and got engaged. I mean, this is the most incredible trip. He's off to Paris. I mean, he is living his life right now.
Epic.
I feel so lame compared to EJ right now.
EJ is out there traveling the world, never been out of the continental U.S. before, right? And going abroad and making the most of every moment. And it's funny because we mentioned this on Friday. It's like, hey, I just got to let you know. I didn't say it on the show, but, I got engaged in London. So I don't know if you're thinking about this. It's a great city to get engaged in. And he goes, yeah, I'm really glad you didn't bring that up. But we didn't push it. And turns out he had this plan the whole time. So we're excited. Super excited for him. And the Mets actually salvaged the split. So it wasn't all lost.
Yeah, I mean, there was the Mets technically won, but the Phillies lost that game because Nick Castellanos is the worst player in all of baseball. It's actually a baseball game I sat down and watched. I was like, I got to watch this London thing. Tell me if you agree with this. The London series had a bit of an in-season tournament feel. And so did the Yankees-Dodgers for some reason. Just like these games really don't mean anything in the course of a 162-game season, but it felt like there was a little extra on here. And the reality, there really isn't. It's just a game.
Well, but Mets-Phillies, that's a divisional game, so that definitely means something.
But the London added something more to it for some reason. It really shouldn't.
Bryce Harper had a great idea. I don't know if it's his idea, but he had an awesome idea. He said it's so fast to go all the way to London just to play 2 games and then come back is really disruptive for everyone's schedule. He goes, why don't you send 4 teams over there and do more of like a tournament round robin, do something so you can stay a little bit longer and it doesn't feel like you're just back on an airplane.
Well, yeah,
to
but
go
then
to Europe for 2 days is pretty crazy.
The quicker you get back is better. I mean, it's only 6 or 7 hours. Basically the same as an LA trip. It's not that different.
No, but the time difference is so wonky because it's 6 hours ahead as opposed to 3.
But if you spend 5 games over there, then it's going to be harder to adjust when you get back. I'm not sure I agree with Bryce on this one.
I like it.
I was pretty psyched. The cast of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia made a great appearance.
Yeah, I saw.
My favorite show, my favorite team, everything was working perfectly until they blew it in the 9th. But still, it did seem to work. Baseball going overseas, for some reason, it felt a little smoother than the NFL. Maybe because they played at 12:30, so why can't the NFL play at 12:30? Why does the NFL have to play at 9 a.m.?
I don't know. Yeah, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. It's like 6:30 in the morning on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Silly. I think because they want to get back. Again, it's like your schedule.
Oh, a travel thing. I thought it was something about they didn't want to play too late at night in London.
Maybe, again, because I think you're trying to just get back to get as much rest as humanly possible. It's such a hassle. But anyway, it was pretty special. And if it gave our guy, EJ, a chance to go over to London, just an excuse to get over there, I think they were going to go anyway, but an excuse to go over there to see the Mets, and then he gets engaged on top of it. He and Andrea, you're right, they're now going to Paris, which is so cool. And so, EJ, we're just excited for him. And Manny was at a wedding this weekend. Manny came in clean-shaven, haircut, and you told us your brother got married this weekend. How was it?
Yeah, my brother got married. Congratulations, Carlos Christina. And yeah, it was awesome. It was actually, I heard a couple of people saying that it was probably one of the best parties, one of the best weddings my family has thrown. So
Nice.
Great job, Carlos and Christina. I have a sister-in-law now, so
Is this your older brother?
It's my only older brother, yep.
Wow, so you got a sister-in-law now, which is awesome. Was there shenanigans going down at the wedding?
Tons of shenanigans. So many shenanigans that, I mean, it was textbook.
Still unpacking the shenanigans. Yeah.
Did you have a date?
What was that?
Did you have a date?
No, I did not have a date, unfortunately.
I think smarter. Be single.
Tell me about the bridal party. What was going on? Best man?
Everybody's married. My brother's the last one to get married. So, I mean, it was fun, but it was,
Did you give a toast?
I gave a toast at the rehearsal dinner.
Okay.
People love that.
Was it like a toast or a roast? What was your tactic?
It was a toast to Christina. It was a roast to Carlos.
Perfect.
Love it.
So
Just as it should be.
Just as it should be. So yeah, congratulations, Los. Congratulations, Christina. I love you guys, and let's have another party.
You were on the dance floor, Manny?
Of course I was. Come on now. I'm the brother of the groom. Of course I had to.
I love it.
Get in the middle of a circle and do some moves?
No, I'm good on that one. I was the one pushing all the other people to get into the middle. I did not partake in any middle dancing, though. No.
Electric slide?
There was no electric slide, but there was a lot of salsa, bachata, a lot of Spanish music, a lot of music in English, lots of country as well. It was awesome. It was a half an hour of a little bit of everything. It was pretty cool.
Man, I love bachata music. My husband spent a year in the DR, and then I lived in a building in New York everyone was Dominican. It was awesome, and the music was phenomenal. And everyone, not to stereotype, such great dancers. I feel like at a wedding, everyone must be trying to just outdo each other because everyone's just so good. I
like to watch from a distance when people are dancing bachata because you can really tell that some people are looking at each other trying to outdance each other. No doubt.
You.
Yeah. Some people are trying to get the steps in correctly, trying to move those hips correctly, trying to make it look sexy because bachata is sexy.
I know. This is why if I ever was at a wedding and they ever play bachata, that's when I take a seat. That's just me. I can't even be on the fringe of the dance floor because you'll embarrass yourself. It's either you're in or you're out.
Yeah, I'd be like, put Kool and the Gang back on. Let's get out there. Celebrate.
Everybody.
Yeah, so that's what's going on. We got weddings in the air. It's wedding season.
God, I can't wait for all the awkward people that EJ's not going to invite to the wedding around here. It's going to be wonderful.
Well, I mean, it's a big deal. I went no people from work at our wedding.
Wow.
Yep.
EJ kind of loves his coworkers. He's very popular in this building. It's going to be a tough call. He should go no.
We cut it off because it would have been everyone from my husband's office too. I don't know any of those people.
I tell you the famous story. I just started working with Dan Patrick, my former boss, when this started. So we didn't really know each other, but I invited him out of courtesy, as you do a boss.
Sure.
And he said no. Then he called me on a Saturday morning. He's like, "It's a big day. Really proud of you. Make sure you don't screw it up today." I'm like, "Dan, the wedding's next week." I couldn't even bother to read the date on the invitation.
Yes.
He's like, "My bad."
He just knew he was going to be busy both of those Saturdays. It's like he was going to make plans.
Yeah. And it was a classic example. He got me an amazing present. And I'm like, when I got back, I'm like, "Oh, thank you for this. He's like, "I got you what?" And he's like, texting his wife. He's like, "What are you spending on McLovin for?"
Really his loss, though, because your wedding ended up being very memorable
Very
for
famous.
the horrible toast that your best man gave you, right?
Yeah. One of the worst of all time.
Dan
Can't
could
bring
have
it
been
up.
there for that.
Yeah, I'm so glad he was not. And you guys think I'm exaggerating? It was the worst toast in the history of wedding toast.
It made it back to the office.
Yeah,
I wasn't
many
even at your
offices.
wedding, and I heard about it from someone else. Oh, man, memories. Coming up, Caitlin Clark gets snubbed by Team USA.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. 1 minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Celtics take a 2-0 lead in the NBA Finals. Welcome to the show, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. But that is not even close to the most controversial moment in basketball over the weekend. And that was the, pardon the pun, but the brick that was laid by Team USA and the Women's Basketball Committee that decided to leave Caitlin Clark off of their roster. Perloff, this was stunning to me, because the stated goal of this team is to grow and promote the game. And you have a phenom who is doing just that by every standard and metric. And you are leaving her off, and I'm not even really sure why. We don't have a reason yet officially stated by the committee, because there's some kind of embargo until Tuesday or whatever. There's no, sound and justifiable reason to keep Caitlin Clark off this roster.
Just back it up for a second. What is the stated goal of the women's Olympic team? Is to grow the sport
of women's Olympic basketball? Yes.
Isn't the stated goal a gold medal?
Well, they do that. They do that anyway.
So
they've won 7 straight gold medals.
Why is it their job to? Okay, regardless,
they've made it their job. They want that to be their job. That's one of their stated goals and initiatives. Grow and promote the game. And win. And they win. They win all the time. This is not a team. And again, another reason why Caitlin Clark should be on this team is because, first of all, this is totally subjective. Team building is subjective. And you can't say that Caitlin Clark hasn't even earned it, because she is holding her own, even though she is a rookie and very young into her WNBA career. Perloff, the team is not good. The Indiana Fever are not good. But Caitlin Clark is not bad right now. And Christine Brennan really laid this out in USA Today, so I want to give her credit, because she's also one of the people who broke this story. Caitlin Clark right now is 13th in WNBA in scoring. She's second in three-pointers made. She's fourth in assists per game. She has made history. She's the first player in WNBA history with 200 points, 75 assists in her first 12 career games. She's not, and she's getting everyone's best defensive effort and getting knocked around like crazy. She's not sucking. Her team sucks. She doesn't suck. And she might not be the best player, but as Christine Brennan put it, she's the most important player. And I don't know how they can allow this snub to happen. It's brutal.
Man, if she's one of the 12 best, she's shooting 37% from the field. That's terrible.
But
That's
what's her three-point percentage?
Her 32%.
Well, she had 7 threes.
32%. That's not good.
Okay, but is it? She's better. She's hitting more threes than Diana Taurasi.
Well, maybe that's why the team is so bad, because she's not hitting her shot. And by the way, it's actually one of them is she's firing up a lot of shots, which are not good shots. She has to take very tough shots, because she's not getting a lot of space on that team. But I mean, you could easily make a compelling argument that she doesn't belong on basketball-wise yet. Yeah, that's a big yet. I completely acknowledge she will 100% be there in 4 years, but it's an easy argument. This would be a symbolic move to put her on. Is that what we're doing? We're sort of saying, okay, we know this is for ratings, so we're going to put her on the team. Would you say there was in the NBA and there was some guy who's an awesome slam dunker but a terrible player, would you put him on the Olympic team just for eyeballs?
Okay, this is what I don't like about this Caitlin Clark situation. We act like all these teams get chosen and it's perfect every single time. That's not true because Isaiah Thomas would have been on the dream team if we were picking the perfect team every single time. He deserved to be there, and he wasn't. Let's not act like this is not subjective. And here's the thing about Caitlin. It's not like it would be so symbolic like she's the 15th person on the bench and, we need a way to get her in here even though she's been terrible. I saw LeBron James and Dwayne Wade and Carmelo Anthony sit on a bench when they were at the Olympics in 2004. No one called that symbolic.
But didn't a lot of the veterans be like, I don't even want to go on that trip anymore because nobody cares about Olympic basketball? That's the only reason they were on that roster.
It wasn't because no one wanted to go. It was because there were security issues because it was 2004. They had to stay on like a cruise ship. Security was a big deal.
Right, that's why the young guys
because we were in the
there.
shadow of 9/11. But this is the thing. I'm just saying teams get made for a variety of different reasons.
Yeah.
And if you have this person who is no doubt bringing more eyeballs and attention to the sport, to leave her off just to me seems so short-sighted. And I'll give you one more. If I'm NBC, I am stepping in. And at this point, you're not going to do her any favors because now it's going to look even more like, oh, here comes the TV executives. They had to get involved. But I wouldn't care. If I was running NBC and I'm paying billions of dollars to air the Olympics, and I've got stars. I've got Simone Biles. I've got Katie Ledecky. I've got other, I've got the men's side for basketball.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of stars, but I want Caitlin Clark. She could have been a flag bearer, maybe. I don't know. She could have been part of the broadcast. People have an insatiable appetite for her right now. Why not give us what we want?
Because it doesn't feel like sports. It feels like, it feels phony. And that's the worst thing about sports. It feels like you're just putting on here for eyeballs and marketing. And it's like, ugh. And even, by the way, Isaiah Thomas, 92, yes, you did have some old guys on there that were rewarded, but Isaiah was definitely he was at the end. He was not a great player anymore.
Larry Bird's back was falling apart.
But he was Larry Bird. I mean, Isaiah, it would have been yes, it wasn't that obvious that he didn't belong on the dream team because he wasn't a great player anymore. If it was peak Isaiah, you would have had to put him on the team. So, again, yes, there were some symbolic placements, but generally, that dream team was pretty darn good. Caitlin Clark is not Larry Bird.
Perloff, Christian Laettner was on that team.
They had to pick one college player, and he's the greatest college player of all time. So
and she might be the second.
Yes, but the problem is if she was still in college, then you could put her on the team. But now that she's in WNBA, it's a different calculus.
That's a function of the schedule. She just got drafted a month and a half ago.
Yeah, but
Laettner entered the NBA that same season, that same calendar year.
It just feels weird putting a rookie 10 games in who really hasn't had any success yet. It would have been... I think, honestly, this is good for Caitlin. Let her earn the Olympic team so it doesn't feel like she's being gifted anything. Because this would have been a gift. It would not have been a competitive move.
So here's the thing. First of all, I disagree with that. And
so you think she deserves it? She's definitely one of the top 12 players in the
deserve is so subjective.
But that sounds like what you're saying is she kind of you don't think it'd be a symbolic move.
Here's why. I feel like I'm getting cheated as a fan, and I want to see her. And I've got all these other casual fans who have come now you've asked for their attention and you got it. And I know the WNBA and Team USA are not the same. But in terms of women's hoops, and we're talking about growing the game, we're talking about partners, we're talking about advertisers, you're talking about media, all this stuff. You've asked for our attention and now you have it. And what you're going to do with it is take a phenom player who we're all happy watching, excited watching, and tuning in for, and for no good reason. There's not a good reason here. You can have your reasons, but none of them are great.
But she doesn't deserve to be on the team is not a great reason?
Deserve is so subjective. Again,
well, is this a sporting event
Christian
or a
Laettner
TV show?
deserve to be on the team?
Is this The Bachelor? Are we watching a reality show? Or is this supposed to be sports? I'm a little confused about what's going on here.
Okay, so you're going to tell me that Kawhi Leonard deserves to be on this team if he's going to be hurt so he can go over there to sell shoes?
He's one of the great NBA players. Yeah, Kawhi, when he's healthy,
He's not going to be healthy, though. These teams get put together
that's
for
a particular
silly reasons.
case with a guy who's got a lower body injury history. It's not like Kawhi is not an amazing player. He's proven it time and time again.
And he'll be sitting on the bench doing nothing. I'm just pointing that. So that's a good way to build a team. I'm just pointing out the fact that she brings something to the table that you need in international basketball, which is obviously 3-point shooting. And
not well yet, but okay.
But we have a lot of data to go on that she's a really good 3-point shooter, like her whole college career. And it's not like she's been, a bricklayer since she's gone to the WNBA. And the other part is, we're being sanctimonious now. Like, give me a break. You hate the Olympics. You think it's all a big marketing tool.
I don't hate the Olympics. That's not fair. But I do think, and what are you saying? We should do this for marketing, for 100% for marketing. So forget, it sounds like a giant commercial for Amex. Like, what is the Olympics? Like, it's way too commercialized. And what you're suggesting makes it even worse to me. We're not putting the best team out there. We're putting the team that we think will make the most money for us.
Perloff. Amateurs
and you said NBC should jump in too.
Yes. If I was NBC, I'd jump in. Amateurs aren't competing now in basketball. That's gone. So it's all commercial because you literally have pros. They're stopping the season to send them there.
That's why
it's all marketing. It's all about growing the game globally. And I just don't understand why they would just take this opportunity that's sitting right gift wrapped in their lap and not take it.
That's why I prefer the WNBA because it's it's about winning on the court. It's not about who is going to make us the most money by putting them out there. Otherwise, they would just promote Caitlin Clark and make her go to the final. I mean, I prefer it to be just a much more competitive situation. It's just timing. She just got the WNBA. She doesn't have time to prove her worth to be on the Olympic team. She's not. There's no way she's one of the top 12 players in the WNBA right now. That's just, their team's terrible. She is shooting 37% from the field.
Do you think she shouldn't get a $28 million deal from Nike?
Oh, of course she should.
Okay, so what's the difference?
Because the Olympics is supposed to be a competitive event. The Nike thing is just pure marketing. Yes, she's the most marketable player the sport's ever had. No one would argue that.
Okay, but it's not like she's a butcher out there, right? She hasn't been bad. She was a rookie of the month. They've been putting all of her games on the biggest platforms that they can have, and she's holding her own in a league that's basically feels like everyone's out to get her. And so...
But if you're Caitlin Clark, would you want to be on this team or would you want to really earn it in 4 years?
To be honest, I want to be on this team, and I'll tell you why if I'm her. Because
to sell sneakers?
No, maybe, but I don't know what's going on between the veterans and her. I think it maybe is a little overblown that they hate her. I don't think they hate her. I think they're giving her a lot of welcome to the WNBA moments, and they're being really hard on her. This is an opportunity where I actually get to know these women. Because she couldn't go to the pre-Olympic camp because she was playing in the Final Four and then playing in the championship game. So she didn't have a proper Olympic workout. So maybe I get to know some of these women. Maybe I get to learn a little bit from some of these veterans. And yes, I want her around this team so she can simply even soak up what they have to give, the knowledge they have to give her. Let's pass the torch. And it doesn't have to be contentious. There doesn't have to be tension. Maybe they embrace her a little bit more if they just got to know her.
God, I mean, you're making this sound so unfun. It's incredible. Now I don't want her there just because I don't want you to be yelling at me about it. I just feel like it would
I'm not
be
yelling
such a
at you.
distraction.
I'm yelling at Team USA.
It'd be such a distraction. I mean, this is
LeBron
this isn't
sat
even
on the bench and
anymore.
it wasn't a distraction.
Well, yes, young LeBron is nothing compared to the lightning rod that is Caitlin Clark. I think part of the reason is maybe they don't want her on the bench because then everyone's gonna be like, why aren't you playing her?
Well, again, then now you're admitting that you are listening to the fans. So
I'm not. No. I honestly
that you're thinking about the fans. If you're like, well, it's not going to be good if we just have her sitting there on the bench. Meanwhile, again, LeBron, Dwayne Wade, Carmelo Anthony sat their asses on the bench, and it didn't matter. But
they are nothing. There's nothing in common with those early. Even LeBron, as much hype as he had, was nothing like Caitlin Clark. Presidents are weighing in on Caitlin Clark. LeBron was relatively a no-name compared to Caitlin Clark at this point.
You're misremembering that.
No, I don't think. But whether LeBron was on the Olympic team, that was not. I don't remember that being a huge issue. Nobody cared.
Well, and I'm just saying she can sit on the end of the bench and she can be a part of this team.
Yeah,
and
but
it doesn't
she
have
could
to be
just
an outrage.
easily not be on the end of the bench. If it wasn't for the marketability, nobody would care. It doesn't matter. As far as competitively, she could be there, she could not be there. She's right around that level, whatever.
It's sports. It's not politics. It's not, okay, if the fans want something, what's the harm in giving it to them?
It just feels because it's not a fan vote. It's supposed to be a competitive event that you earn the team.
Okay.
That's it's not because otherwise you could put Anna Kournikova into the Wimbledon final every year or whatever. Or you could have the Dallas Cowboys. The fans clearly want the Dallas Cowboys in the Super Bowl. You can't give it to them.
Sure. So at one point, she'd be sitting on the end of the bench and she's irrelevant. At the other point, she'd just be overshadowing everybody. It can't be both ways. What is it? Because
what do you mean?
Here's the thing. The women have won the gold medal. The women's basketball team have won the gold medal 7 games in a row. They haven't lost a game. Nobody was watching one of the most dominant teams we have. And every person who covers those games will tell you press rows are empty. It feels like a fait accompli. They do not get the media attention that they want. They want it. So why not give everybody and make everybody happy? Caitlin comes in, you get more media attention, and maybe you get more eyeballs even still on the game. The women are dominant and nobody has been paying attention. So why not give something that makes people sit up and tune in?
Because it feels like the wrong reasons to put her on the team. That's why. I mean, for me, it feels like you're not putting it there because she earned it yet. And that's not a great feeling. To me, I wouldn't want that feeling. I mean, yes, I agree with you. She's kind of borderline to make the team or not.
Right.
I would have no problem if she made the team, but I feel just to put her there for those reasons are the wrong reasons. By the way, Kawhi Leonard, if they need to shut down Canada, and there's no way, if he's actually healthy and playing defense, forget it.
No way.
Oh, his arms are so long. Trust me, if Benedict Matherin's getting hot, they need to shut him down and put Kawhi in.
Mike is in South Carolina. We want to hear from you on Caitlin Clark, 855-212-4227. Mike, what do you have?
Maggie, I grew up in Nassau County. I used to listen to you on the fan. And never spoke to you before. I didn't really care for your partner. That's another story. I was going to talk
Which
about
one?
Caitlin.
Just kidding. Just kidding. Don't mention it.
Okay. I played college baseball, high level, okay? And anybody who plays sports, and I had pitchers tell me after the game they wanted to throw it at my head. And you know what? Spikes high at second base playing shortstop, turn it into double play. And payback is a you-know-what. Anybody that plays sports and there's any, nonsense going on, and Caitlin, and I agree with what you said, Maggie, she belongs on the U.S. Olympic team, okay? And she is just, she changed the whole atmosphere with women's basketball. And what she went through, I call it, with that girl that gave her a blind shot, that's thuggery on the hardwood. That's what it is. And anybody that does that, guess what? Payback is a you-know-what. And Caitlin, keep doing what you're doing, and the endorsements and everything you're getting. Every girl, I have a daughter, she plays fast pitch softball, okay? Every girl in the country is bouncing a basketball, okay?
I know, and it could be every girl in the world. And Mike, thank you so much, and thank you for checking in. It's great to hear from you. Why not think that you can scale this with Caitlin, right? WNBA is one thing, getting people in America to pay attention. Why not think that maybe internationally she could have an impact too? Ramon is in Indianapolis, home of the Indiana Fever. Good morning, Ramon.
Good morning, Maggie and Perloff, two of my favorite sports reporters and personalities. I like it. I'm going to agree completely with Perloff, Maggie. I know you're not going to like it.
That's okay.
Gentleman just called and said he was college baseball. Well, I played college baseball too, sir. I had to walk on. I had to earn it.
Yep.
Okay. I coach sports. It's a meritocracy. You have to earn it. Now, I know we got business and money, but everything can't just be about the money. That's the problem we're having in the world now. I mentor and deal with 9 to 15-year-olds. I'm telling you, that's the problem we're having now. They only look at what is going to make money. Do you know we did a poll from young people, and the most job that the young men I mentor said they want to do would be a minister, and the reason why I said because they make a lot of money. They didn't mention Jesus. They didn't mention ministering to people. They didn't mention nothing. All they thought about was serious. All they thought about was the money. Sometimes we got to have ethics and morals, which is what we learn in college classes. You had ethics and morals classes. The ethics say she cannot make the team yet. And I'll leave with this. Ask Jalen Brunson how he feels right now. He's been left off. Ask Kyrie Irving how he feels right now. He's been left off. Ask Isaiah Thomas how he felt when he got left off. It happens. Snubs happens. She'll grow, she'll learn, and you can't just have everything.
But Ramon, here's the thing. It's not Caitlin who's the one who's making a stink about this. And thank you, Ramon, and keep doing that great work with young people. Goodness knows we need that. But it's not Caitlin. Caitlin's being totally gracious about this. She's the one who's saying, I'm still going to root for the team, and this is not a disappointment. She's saying all the right things. As a fan, I'm disappointed. This is not Isaiah Thomas bringing all this stuff up 30 years later because he can't let it go. This is me as a fan, and the WNBA and women's basketball in general, and Team USA for the women, getting this opportunity and just kind of willingly, turning a blind eye. Like, LeBron James was the biggest thing to come into the NBA since Michael Jordan, and he sat on the end of the bench, and he could have been and she could have been part of this team also. And you didn't have to guarantee her all this playing time. And the thing is about morals and ethics in sports, Ramon, I love it. I don't, it's business. Sports are business.
Okay. I get it. The flag bearer thing sounds really cool, but watching her score 6 points against Greece, is that such a wonderful entertainment product?
If it brings more eyeballs to the sport, why not? I mean, again.
I'm just saying, like, is this really going to change everyone's Olympic experience? I'm not sure how much she would have been able to do.
How often do you think she's going to get, the other teammates are going to get asked about Caitlin, whether she's there or not?
I have no idea. I mean, honestly, as you said, I've never watched a series of women's basketball interviews at the Olympics, and they've won 7 in a row. That's news to me. Honestly, did LeBron lost his first Olympics, right?
Yeah, they came in. They got the bronze.
I disagree with EJ for one. That I just don't think since the Dream Team anyone cares about Olympic basketball that much.
Well, I'll disagree with you on that, but I'll tell you what, no one's been caring about the women.
Yeah, no one cares about the women.
And this might make them care.
Like, I have no idea how the men did last time. They won.
They won the gold.
But it wasn't on in the middle of the night and nobody, like, it just doesn't, there seems to be something missing with Olympic basketball. I agree with you. Maybe if you put Caitlin out there, but if they're going to blow out everyone and she's going to get 2 3-pointers at the end of the game, is that so compelling and interesting? I'm not sure it even matters.
I'll be honest. It'd be nice to see, even if, I don't know how much she would play if she was on this team. Clearly, she's not on the team, so we don't know. It'd be nice to see her playing for something meaningful. Because that's not going to happen with the
meaningful.
fever.
It's not even meaningful enough that they even care competitively who's on the team. They're just putting there, she's going to make them a lot of money.
No. I'm just saying to actually compete for a gold medal, at least feels like there's stakes. The Fever stink. She's on a bad team. So we saw her at Iowa. She was actually trying to win a college national championship. Now she'd be on a team that's trying to win a gold medal. At least there's something. Like Indiana, they're playing for, we're watching and tuning in, and we know they're going to be one of the worst teams in the league.
Would you rather see her earn it the old-fashioned way? Like, kind of just play her way? It's going to be so exciting when she's there in 4 years.
Yeah,
I think
4 years.
I mean,
4 years from now.
Yeah, but I mean, it's going to be wonderful to watch her grow as a player and grow as a team. And, like, yes, like how bad they are now, it's going to make it even cooler when she eventually succeeds.
855-212-4227. You're welcome to weigh in on Caitlin Clark. She gets snubbed from Team USA. Do you think this was the right move to leave her off the roster, or do you think that it was the wrong move? At Maggie and Pearl on Twitter. You can also watch us, youtube.com/Infinity Sportsnet, twitch.tv/Infinity Sports Network. Okay, so much more going on. That was just one thing that happened this weekend. We have more for you, including a decision any minute now on Dan Hurley. Don't move. More Maggie and Perloff.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 3 minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining.
Changing the air. Police for his razor didn't have a care. He saved it all that iconic mustache. Now he's just a face lost in the mask.
15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back to Maggie and Perloff. Some heated Caitlin Clark debate here. I got an interesting tweet, Maggie. The issue is, should Caitlin Clark be on the Olympic team? She is not as of right now, and you think it's a missed opportunity. JDM tweeted us that there's only been 2 times where the number 1 overall pick was not immediately put on the WNBA, on the Women's Olympic team. Because in 16, Breanna Stewart immediately put on the Olympic team. In 2020, Sabrina Ionescu immediately put on the Olympic team. So there is a precedent, and I didn't realize that that's how they did it. That's surprising to me. I would have thought, because of the structure of the WNBA, it goes college season ends, draft, and they're on the court almost immediately to put. But those are 2 pretty big names. If Breanna Stewart can do it, I think Caitlin Clark's in that territory. So it would have made sense. That being said, I still think that in reality, she has not quite earned one of those top 12 spots. So I say keep it all above board, make it just about play. Do not bring in marketability. I am taking what I consider the higher road here,
yeah,
Maggie.
wow. No.
I am not about the money.
No.
I'm about the competitive spirit, the Olympic spirit.
Well, you know who takes the high road is Caitlin Clark herself. Pete, can we just hear Caitlin Clark in cut 2? She asked if she's disappointed that she didn't make the team. This is her answer.
Honestly, no disappointment. Like, I think it just gives you something to work for. That's a dream. Hopefully one day I can be there, and I think it's just a little more motivation. You remember that, and hopefully in 4 years, when 4 years comes back around, I can be there.
Yeah, the high road should be named Caitlin Clark Boulevard because she lives on the high road. But she also said if Team USA needs anything, she's there to help and she'd be there to fill in. Like, she wants to play, guys. Like, she wants to play. I know people are saying, oh, she could use a month off to rest or whatever. She wants to play. Let's not tell professional athletes what they can do with their bodies, right? 855-212-4227. Zach's in Boise. Zach, what do you think? Caitlin Clark left off the Olympic team. Was it the right move or the wrong move?
Well, I just feel like, and I think Perloff kind of touched on it, that if she's not one of the top 5 guards in the WNBA at this point, 15, 20 games into her rookie season, I think it's a disservice to those other potential top 5 guards for her to get the opportunity and them not.
Are you going to watch?
Well said.
Am I going to watch?
Yeah.
I think that's really irrelevant on whether or not she deserves to be on the team or not.
Well, but here's the thing, Zach. Zach, thank you so much for weighing in. I appreciate that. We both do. Here's the thing about deserves. That's a tricky word because team building is completely subjective. And there's a lot of people who deserve or don't deserve to be on any kind of team, and they get left on or left off for a variety of different reasons. So I feel like deserve is a tricky one.
Okay.
Because I gave you numbers here. She made the second most 3-pointers. She's second in 3-pointers made in the WNBA. Yeah. She's 13th in the WNBA in points per game. She's 4th in assists per game.
Yeah. But her team is terrible, and she's shooting a low percentage. I mean, you can make that argument too.
Okay, but she with better teammates, she might be better. Like on an all-star team, essentially. You don't think it's going to look better?
I don't know. I mean, I haven't watched enough WNBA, but it doesn't seem to me what I've seen so far. I saw the game where she got completely shut down by the Liberty, that she's clearly one of the top 5
Yeah,
guards.
but that was a back-to-back. That was a really tough moment. Did you watch the 7 3-pointers that she made against DC?
Yeah, the worst team in the league.
Okay, but I'm just saying, like, she's not as bad as when she plays against the best team, and she might not be as good as when she plays against the worst team.
She's kind of like a 16-point-a-game scorer.
Okay, and she also played in front of 20,000 people in DC, and if you're wondering if that's a record, it was.
Oh, I'm well aware of her popularity.
And so I have numbers for you that tell you that she's not bad. She's not going to embarrass the jersey.
Yeah, she's definitely.
And she adds so much. Stuart's in North Carolina. Hey, Stuart, what's up?
Hi. Andrew, you are on the wrong side of history on this argument, my friend.
Hit me.
And this has... Caitlin Clark would not be like Kristen Leitner, a symbolic player. You cannot definitively say there's 5 other guards in that league that are clearly that much better than Caitlin Clark. She's the most dynamic player in the WNBA, and I don't think it's close. She's the closest thing the WNBA has ever had to Pete Maravich. She's a great shooter. She's the best passer in the league, and putting the popularity on it just adds icing on the cake. But she is not somebody who should sit at the end of the bench playing 2 minutes. She can play with anybody in that league. She had the worst schedule in the league to start with, playing every other night for like 3 weeks. And it's just, and all you have to do is watch her for 2 quarters and you'll see how talented she is and how good she is and how she can play with anybody in that league. And if Christine Brennan is accurate and she's as good a reporter as there is in this country, shame on that committee for leaving her off because those other ladies are embarrassed by the publicity Caitlin Clark has brought that they have dreamed of for 25 years.
You know, Stuart, I don't know why ultimately she was left off, and thank you so much for the phone call. I don't think it was to like teach her a lesson or send a message or anything like that, because you would just be doing a disservice to your own sport. And from what I can see, the roster, the people who choose the roster looks like, and if I'm reading the internet right, it'd be Dawn Staley, Simone Augustus, Delisha Milton-Jones, Jen Rosati, and Bethany Donovan, who's the head of WNBA League Operations. I think we all know who the other women are. That's a decorated group who clearly wanted the game to grow. So I don't know if they would do this to, like, again, send a message to her. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Like, why are we punishing her popularity?
Well, all that being said, too, it feels a little insulting to the players who are on the roster because I'm actually looking at the roster like these are big stars. Like,
definitely.
It's not an easy who do you drop off. That's the other thing, too. I understand what you're saying about Caitlin and the caller saying about Caitlin Clark being really good, but all the players on there are really good. I mean, it's not like it's not like they put a medium player on the team. So I think you could easily make an argument. I mean, I understand Diana Taurasi is old. I saw this game the other day where she hit 7 threes in like 3 minutes. Like she could get hot still. And she's Diana Taurasi.
She's Diana Taurasi. I can't really argue with that.
I mean, that's probably going to be the cut for her.
It's like it's the commitment to the program. It's a little bit of a lifetime achievement award. We're watching the same thing
she's
with
still really good too.
And LeBron is still really good, and he's going to play in the Olympics. And Durant's still really good, and he's going to play in the Olympics. And
yeah, I mean, like who you going to cut? Like Jewel Lloyd or Kelsey Plum? Like these are stars everywhere on this roster. So it's not that obvious that she makes it. Like that caller saying, like, oh, she's already head and shoulders above these other players. It's not the case at all.
I will make a wild prediction. I think the vets who weren't really gung-ho on her coming into the league to begin with, I think some of these vets on this team kept her off.
You think so? You think it was Isaiah Thomas style snub?
Yeah, I can see that happening.
Well, all the vets on the team want to be on the team, so of course it's there instead of like pick me over her. Well, why wouldn't they? But it's not up to them.
Well, but people have power. I mean, if you're a big enough player, you can go in that coach's office, you can go in that GM's office or wherever, and make your case. Hey, I don't want to play with this person. That could be the case as well. Not saying it is, but you have to throw it out there.
Yeah, I think it'd be short-sighted. William's in California. Hey, William, what's up?
Well, good morning, and love your show.
Oh, thank you.
Previous listener stole my Christian Laettner, Isaiah Thomas thing, but I believe that the best players, the best achievements, the people, the young men and women that grow up their whole life and want to be on an Olympic team are the ones that should be there. Now, you had brought up the subjective argument. Well, it's both. The best people in track and field have to have the best times to get into the Olympics.
Right.
Same with the swimmers. You look at figure skaters, though, gymnastics, very subjective.
Yep.
Okay? So you got a double argument there. I really enjoy watching this young lady play. She's terrific. But my feeling is you're going to have a musical chair situation here. So somebody's going to be left off that chair. And it could be somebody that really deserves to be on that team who has earned it through her merit and through her play. And I got to side with Perloff on that.
Yeah. William, I get it. And I see this other side of the argument. Don't get me wrong. And I don't mean to sound cynical about this, but sports is a business, even the Olympics. And we like to add a lot of stuff onto this. Like it's this really, like no one's paying attention to any dollars at all when it comes to the Olympics. Like it's all love of the game. We know that's crap. Right. And it's not true. And here's the thing also about sports. We love to say that it's a meritocracy, and in some cases it is. Also, it's sometimes not fair. And sometimes when you have a greater goal, which is growing a sport and expanding it into new shores and to new horizons, I would just not forest through the trees here. You're worried about what could happen. I would be worried about what you're missing out on. Like, you're worried that you're going to offend somebody, you're going to snub somebody else, which nobody in this audience would have cared about at all if it's not Caitlin. That's your proof. She's different. And I think that Bill Parcells had different rules for different players. Yeah. It's not always fair, but it would have been the right thing to do for her and the sport. Or leave her out of it. For the sport, it would have been the right thing to do. And they missed the opportunity.
I think gymnasts get scored in trials, right? Like there's trials for all these others.
But it's like judges.
Yeah, no, I know. But it's at least they're like, I think a gymnast has to go through an Olympic trial, and they judge. And the judges are very technical. So,
but there is some politics on who makes the team.
Some, but I mean, I actually know that. But I think, there
definitely is.
But also, too, at least they have a scored trial, unlike this, which is just purely subjective.
Exactly.
And by the way, I'm looking again at the roster, Maggie. I want to hear who you're taking off.
Well, that's not my job. Andrew Bogusch is here. He's got headlines. Good morning, folks.
Did anyone else think it was odd that they scheduled their tryouts for this during the Final Four?
Yeah,
so she couldn't go to it. Didn't you you'd have to assume that somebody that you might want to look at was going to be in the Final Four. And they
that's so lame, though. You're telling me, you need, the NBA needed a guy in college? Why? You don't have 12 players without the college ranks?
Well, and the college ranks with the talent that's coming in now, and just knowing what the field, what your pool was, in case you needed to pull somebody up, how they would compete against WNBA players. Wouldn't you have wanted to see Angel Reese or Caitlin Clark in that setting in case you needed one of them?
I mean, Angel Reese, she was the number 7 pick in that draft.
All I'm saying is it doesn't make sense to me to schedule something like that, even if it was specific for Caitlin Clark, to go, why would you do that when you're assuming she's going to be busy that weekend?
Well, the other part, I think this could, if we think there is this tension, as Pete said, which is like, maybe veterans came together to kind of keep her off the team or what have you, then this is a great opportunity for her to get to know these women. And actually, you spend a month together, and the basketball is totally away from everyone else because security issues. So for the most part, the NBA players and the WNBA players kind of stay together, and they have extra security. So this could have been a bonding situation.
Wait. This isn't like a friend trip. What is this? Is supposed to be an Olympic gold medal. You're saying this is good so Caitlin can bond with these stars?
Perloff, how many super teams were formed on Olympic rosters because guys are together for a month all by themselves, isolated for the most part, and start teaming up and laying the groundwork for other, moves down the line. This happens.
Oh God, you wonder why I don't like the Olympics. I mean, like, can we actually throw the ball out and play some sports and compete to see who can win? Like, instead of we're talking about bonding overseas just because Ewing and Larry Bird became friends. That was a nice little side story.
No, this was Kyrie and Durant, man. This is where this got laid.
That's been nothing but bad for the NBA, by the way. Pete, what do you think of the Olympics leading to these super teams? Love it, right?
Oh, yeah, tremendous. I really want to go watch now. Corruption and super teams. Yeah, that'll do for me.
See, but if Caitlin was there, you probably would have tuned in, right?
No, but maybe better shot.
Had she played for the Liberty, you would, though.
Yes.
So,
Well, then he's watching every game.
Yes,
of course.
that's right.
The Celtics had a 14-point lead in the fourth quarter of Game 2 of the finals last night, but then the Mavs scored 9 straight points and had the ball in transition.
Dallas can make it a one-possession game. Bounce pass lead, but blocked from behind. Jaylen Brown on Washington. Celtics get it back. Jaylen makes the saving play.
Sean Grande on Celtics radio. Derek White eventually got credit for the chase down block.
I think my first 3 steps, it's really important. Just kind of put my head down and run. And then at that time, just trust the instincts and trust the timing that I have. And so just putting my head down and sprinting as fast as I can just to get in position and then go up and make a play.
Jaylen Brown definitely scored on the other end for the final points of a 105-98 Celtic win and a 2-0 series lead.
Would you guys agree this is the greatest chase down block in NBA Finals history? Better than
yes.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm about the 8th person to make that joke. I just want to be clear about that. But I did laugh the second I saw him. Like, oh, the LeBronites are going to be mad about this. There's the foul, right? He fouled him because LeBron owns chase down blocks in the finals.
Yes. Now, I admittedly was asleep when this happened. Did anybody else point out in the moment that the clock stopped for like a second and a half after the block?
Oh, no, I didn't notice that.
If you go back and watch the replay, the clock is stuck on 50.5 seconds. I think they thought that it was either a foul or ball out of bounds. And as they're coming back up the floor, the clock restarts after a little bit.
Yeah. Wow. Did you guys see, by the way, there was a call to goaltending by Derek White. He got up and blocked a dunk, too. He's an incredible shot blocker.
Because his thumb was inside the rim.
I know, barely.
That's how and the ref saw that from 35 feet on the hash mark.
By the way, one of the many things to insult ABC about their coverage, they never show replays of controversial plays. Like there was a really controversial play where Al Horford and Gafford got tangled up, and the crowd's going bananas, and you hear them screaming stuff, and they never went back to it.
Did they never showed the replay on the block you're just talking about?
Yeah, I know. They don't seem to care.
Derek White.
It's not like they need it's not like JJ Redick and Doris Burke are in a flow because they're not saying a darn thing.
It's like they won't show us the replay on something controversial to like show us a corner 3. I'm like,
I
got
know.
it.
I don't understand this broadcast at all. It's like they want to avoid all controversy.
Yeah, you're right. And Doris, she's so good. She adds so much. She's not saying anything.
Well, you can make a case that's why they're there.
No, I'm saying she's like literally not talking enough. I'm not saying she's not making good points. She does when she speaks.
But look at who they replaced.
Yeah, they won't. They don't, right, and they won't show the bad officiating because they fired Van Gundy because he was coming after the officials.
Right. Oh my goodness.
Probably true.
But it's not even like official decisions. Like was it the previous round or 2 rounds ago was an ABC ESPN game, and it was one of the Celtics Pacers meltdown early, and there was an out of bounds play where it was tipped at first, and then a Pacer went and got it, and trying to save it, he threw it out of bounds at his feet, and they spent all of their replays talking about the tip at the beginning, not the fact that it was only out of bounds because as he was trying to save it, he threw it out of bounds. Like they're just off. Like they just don't cover the game well sometimes.
Did you see Luka last night at one point was trying to save the ball out of bounds and instead threw it behind him off of Tatum's head and just like bounced off of his head? I've never seen anything like that.
How about when Luka slipped and tried to throw it off 3 or 4 times? He tried to throw it off Tatum because he just lost the ball, didn't know what to do. But you're right. There's something a little bit like they're not seeing the game. Like they're not watching on their monitors or something. Something's off.
Yeah.
So the Celtics, again, they win 105-98, 2-0 series lead. Now games 3 and 4 coming in Dallas on Wednesday and Friday. Dan Hurley says he'll pick between the Lakers and UConn today. He told ESPN the Lakers did make a compelling case for him to move cross-country. Tennessee, Florida, Texas A&M, and Kentucky all clinched spots in the Men's College World Series yesterday. The Wildcats going to Omaha for the very first time. And finally, boxer Ryan Garcia, whom we last discussed in connection with bee urine, arrested Saturday afternoon at the Beverly Hills Waldorf Astoria for felony vandalism. He's accused of doing thousands of dollars in damage to his room and the hallway outside said room. This guy's got legit problems, and he can't behave.
If you're a maid in one of those hotels, you come up, there's bee urine all over the place.
I quit. It's poor mates.
And probably no tip either.
855-212-4227. It's just like, I don't have it on me in this orange jumpsuit. There's no pockets in there. Can't hold a wallet. Get your money out. Okay, thank you, Bogusch. Coming up, so much more, including an update on the Scotty Scheffler story, your thoughts on Caitlin Clark getting snubbed from the Olympic team. Don't move. It's Maggie and Perloff.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining.
Maggie woke up, felt a change in the air. Reached for his razor, didn't have a care. He shaved it off, that iconic mustache. Now he's just a face, lost in the mass. How many ways did you go? Without your mustache, we just don't know. Bring back the charm, the style, the flair. Grow it back, Manny. Show us you can. Walk through the town, no one said hi. Strangers glanced by, couldn't recognize his upper lip there. A shocking new sight. The mustache gone, it just isn't right. How many ways did you go? Without your mustache, we just don't know. Bring back the charm, the style, the flair. Grow it back, Manny. Show us you can. Show us you can. magic, it's what we knew. Friends and neighbors, they all agree. Bring back the mustache, set Manny free. Oh, Manny, where did you go? Manny woke up, felt a change in the air. Reached for his razor, didn't have a care. He shaved it off, that iconic mustache. Now he's just a face, lost in the mass. Oh, Manny, where did you go? Without your mustache, we just don't know. Bring back the charm, the style, the flair. Grow it back, Manny, show us you care. Walked through the town, no one said hi. Strangers glanced by, couldn't recognize his upper lip bare, a shocking new sight. The mustache gone, it just isn't right. Oh, Manny, where did you go? Without your mustache, we just don't know. Bring back the charm, the style, the flair. Grow it back, man, show us you care. The mirror whispers, this isn't you. The mustache magic, it's what we knew. Friends and neighbors, they all agree. Bring back the mustache, set Manny free.
30 seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back. Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. Before we get back to Caitlin Clark and to Dan Hurley and the update there, we go to Bergie, who's in Florida. Perloff is fascinated by this story, Bergie. What do you have for us?
Update to last week when you guys picked the biggest characters in sports. Well, Perloff, which is a great one, Spaceman Lee, he joined the Savannah Bananas, and some other old Red Sox joined him over the weekend at Fenway. And the Spaceman was on the mound. He pitched in relief. He got hammered, but I'm sure he had a good time. Maybe he was hammered. He gave up 5 runs.
Double meeting. Oh, man, he gave up 5 runs.
So, Bergie, I saw they sold out Fenway in the video. Like, there was not an empty seat there. Who else did they bring out? Like, what? Was it just them, or is it a star thing where people come out and join the team?
I know Papelbon pitched, and I know when they were in Texas that Roger Clemens, remember several months ago, he pitched and he got hammered too. But yeah, so then there were about 3 or 4 other Red Sox. I think somebody else might know, but anyway.
Flaming Bat, like what else did they do?
I'm not sure, but they have these bright yellow, banana outfits. I mean, it's outrageous, but they must have a good time.
Yeah, they do a dance. I'm all in on this.
It was the Savannah Bananas and the Party Animals. They do this like kind of barnstorming thing. Bergie, thanks for the call. Yeah. A little like the Harlem Globetrotters. They walk on stilts, They dance, they sing, the crowd gets into it. And this was a fun quote by the president of the Savannah Bananas. When the stadium was built in 1912, I don't think they thought Banana Ball was coming. So 37,000 people, I guess, at Fenway, which is wild. I would love to go. They're not in this area, unfortunately, but I'd love to go and take my kid, a flaming bat. That might get him into baseball.
Oh, my God. And the Party Animals, by the way, are wearing neon pink sleeveless jerseys. Yeah. I'm not sure. So is this what division of minor league is this?
I don't.
I'm just kidding.
No, there's an actual Savannah Bananas that play minor league baseball, and this is like an offshoot of it that sort of does this sort of barnstorming tour.
Like a Harlem Globetrotters.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
This is just awesome. Have you ever been to the Globetrotters?
As a kid, yeah.
Yeah, I played against the Globetrotters.
How'd it go? As part of the Generals.
We were called like the New York All-Stars at the time. For some reason, we weren't the Generals.
Okay.
It was okay. I mean, my stats weren't great because the damn ball had helium in it, Maggie. Like, how's it going to go in the basket if it's floating up into the rafters?
Man, was a cool experience, though. What else do you remember from it?
Well, I had a foul shot that a guy goaltended and they didn't call it.
dare they? Refs in the pocket.
No, they told me, so I got like 3 minutes to run. They told me I get out there, and I'm a team ball player, so I got the ball. I was like 40 feet from the basket. They're like, you have to shoot it now. Like, what do you mean I have to shoot it now? I'm not even warm. And I threw up an air ball.
I'm not even warm.
I was like, there's a guy wide open. They're like, no, you have to shoot it. That's the point. You get out. The guy covering me told me to shoot it. And that got in my head. It was mind games.
Who else was with you on the did you play against any of the famous Globetrotters?
The current Globetrotters,
Okay.
I don't know. There was some 7'5" guy who was awesome. I don't remember. No, Curly Neal was not there. I think he's passed.
Meadowlark Lemon?
Meadowlark Lemon. That's the only two I can name. Is there another one?
Ray Ferralston didn't play
Goose Tatum? I think Goose Tatum played in the 50s.
Was this all the Danettes?
No, it was just me.
Look at you.
Yeah, there wasn't enough roster space. Fritzy didn't make it.
Aw, snub.
Yeah,
Not so much on the
Caitlin
Caitlin Clark level, but close. Okay. You're still welcome to weigh in on Caitlin Clark at 855-212-4227 or Maggie and Pearl on Twitter. Coming up, major decision expected today that could change the landscape of both the NBA and college basketball.
Manny and EJ, they're diehard Knicks fans, living in the Big Apple. They're part of the grand plan, but they just witnessed the crushing defeat. 76ers taking the victory, man. That's hard to beat. Sitting in the studio talking about the game, Maggie and Perloff, it ain't all the same. Perloff's a Philly fan. It's hard to stand when your team's on top and your heart's in your hand. Man, Manny and EJ, they're lost and confused. Knicks played hard, but it wasn't what they used to. Every missed shot, every turn, oh, they saw leaving them shot. They can't believe what they're in for. Manny and EJ, they're diehard Knicks.
Peter Bellotti, he made a prediction, said that he gonna win. Celtics got no conviction, but now he's hiding, running away, won't own up to his words, can't face the dismay. He thought Miami would rise like the sun in the sky, but now he's got excuses, got no alibi. He thought the Heat had it, it was a sure bet, but they couldn't handle Boston, not just yet. Peter Bellotti, where you at now? You made a bold choice, but where's your wow? Can't stand the heat in the kitchen, your predictions cold, you're playing hide and seek.
There's a guy we know on the radio, Andrew Perloff, he's got a show. He talks sports all day and he makes us laugh, but there's one word that just cracks us in half. When he talks about the woods and the creature within, he says it in a way that makes us all grin. Sasquatch, Sasquatch, oh how he says it wrong. Sasquatch, Sasquatch, it's the highlight of his song. With a twinkle in his eye and a smile on his face, Andrew Perloff says Sasquatch in his own special way. He debates the game with passion and fire. The way down at the park on a Saturday morn, Andrew Bogusch was ready, his whistle was worn. Little League Baseball, the kids in a line, but Bogusch was plotting some mischief this time. Oh, Andrew Bogusch, why you gotta be mean? Bullying the kids on the Little League team, stealing the snacks and the baseball dreams. Andrew Bogusch, that's just so extreme. He'd steal their mitts and hide their bats, make them do push-ups, wear funny hats. He'd laugh and cheer when they missed a catch, but little did he know they had a plan to hatch. Oh, Andrew Bogusch, why you gotta be mean? Bullying the kids on the Little League team, stealing their snacks and their baseball dreams. Andrew Bogusch, sunny day.
One minute remaining. Five seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Celtics take a commanding 2-0 lead in the NBA Finals. Welcome to the show, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. Although not the most exciting story of the weekend when it comes to basketball, we are waiting, tick, 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 on Dan Hurley's decision. According to Woj, he will decide today, Perloff, if he's going to take the Laker job or if he's going to stay at UConn. This has moved very, very quickly. It turns out he was actually in LA he flew out to LA on Thursday. That's when the news broke in the morning. Spent Friday there, flew back on Saturday, and has had some time to sleep on it. I'll take your thoughts on this. Do you think that he's heading back out to Los Angeles?
Well, my thought is he better take this job now because it would be very disappointing for everybody if he didn't. In the sense, I really want to see how it works with Dan Hurley and LeBron and maybe Bronny. Like, he seems like the one coach they have to have in LA. Now, anybody who's not Dan Hurley is going to be a huge disappointment.
Yeah.
And if Dan Hurley goes back to UConn, that's strangely disappointing too, because it's going to be hard to three-peat. He's lost some talent. I just feel like this story, once it gets in your head, I can't get it out of there. I need to see him coach the Lakers. I want to see what happens. If he goes back to UConn and they hire, even J.J. Redick is a very interesting hire, it's a huge disappointment.
Massive.
So the Lakers would look terrible if he didn't take this job. He wouldn't look great either. It look like he was sort of holding UConn hostage by having another contract offer. It would be a big letdown for, I think, everybody involved if he does not say yes today.
I agree with you. He might not care how it looks because he'll always be welcome back to UConn with open arms. I mean, the guy's got to be, a legend on the campus.
Like, he's got a job for life if he wants it.
Yeah, I thought, did we think that about Jim Calhoun? And he didn't have a job for life.
Well,
so I don't know about that job for life stuff. But your point is taken. He's the best coach right now in college basketball, obviously.
Wait, Jim Calhoun got in trouble.
Like, I know. Well, you think college coaches getting in trouble is just always lurking right around the corner.
Well, I thought in the NIL era that wasn't an issue. Like, Jim Calhoun would still be there in today's game.
Well, let's wait. There's a million ways to get in trouble.
Okay.
Not that I think Danny Hurley's doing anything. It's just I've seen this a lot before. I think he's definitely going to take the job. It'd be weird to turn down what they're calling a long and lucrative contract from the LA Lakers. I just don't see the downside for Hurley. You always can come back to college. I don't think his legacy takes a hit. And
I disagree with that.
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, if they're bad, then everyone's gonna say it's kind of like, Saban with the Dolphins. Of course, Saban is the greatest college coach ever, but everyone does keep in the back of their mind, oh, wow, he couldn't really do it in the NFL.
Yeah,
so you don't think that's a legacy yet?
Yeah, but if we're having these greatest of all time debates, maybe his legacy will take a hit. But I don't think in the present, another college team wouldn't say no thank you to Dan Hurley. Hell, another NBA team might say, hey, we'll give you another shot.
Well, we're talking about legacy. We're not talking about being employed. I know Bill Belichick couldn't get a job this offseason, but generally, yeah, he could get a job, but that doesn't mean that his legacy isn't hurt by this. If they're really bad, this is be the most high-profile failure a coach could have because it's L.A. and it's LeBron.
Yeah, but the money's green, and it doesn't mean your life and career's over.
He's already made enough money that he cannot spend before he dies. So that's And also, too, like, it's expensive to live in L.A. The money can't be a factor.
Okay, so here's another part. So Woj keeps breaking the story, and he's really close to the Hurley family. He wrote a book about Dan Hurley's father many years ago, and he's tight with the family. But he keeps putting these things in there. The Bronny part of this, which you and I will argue until the end of time, that Bronny's development, not that Bronny's going to become a superstar, but his development and LeBron hoping that Bronny sticks in the league once he's gone and once LeBron's retired, I think is definitely part of it. That's in the latest article. And then here's another one for you. This didn't make it into the original article. The allure of Hurley traces back to the changing landscape of the NBA roster building because of the collective bargaining agreement. Basically, they're saying that it's become so prohibitive, it's become so costly to have 3 superstars on a team. That's not happening anymore. You're basically getting 2 stars, and then you have to build out the rest of the roster, and they think a college coach or someone with Dan Hurley's skill set is better for that. So that tells me doesn't look like the Lakers are going star hunting this offseason. It looked no Trae Young, Donovan Mitchell. Maybe we can write that stuff off because this might be coming from the Lakers side.
Well, I mean, again, yeah, Donovan Mitchell. How are they going to get Donovan Mitchell?
Well, I'm just saying. There was an idea that the Lakers would go star hunting.
If they thought they could get Donovan Mitchell, they would get Donovan Mitchell, like regardless of Dan Hurley. But Trae Young, that's not, again, they would have to take very flawed stars, like 37-year-olds or Trae Young.
Okay, but stars nonetheless.
So you're saying, okay, all right.
So are they basically telling you here through Woj that this is going to be the team and they just want Dan Hurley to coach them up better? And also, an NBA coach can't do that? Like, you're telling me that an NBA coach can't handle a roster that has 2 stars on it plus other NBA talent? Like, that doesn't hold water to me. I don't think you have to sell me this hard. And this is what I'm getting at with this part of the Woj article. Not just that it could telegraph what the Lakers are thinking, but you don't have to sell me this hard on this thing. Don't you feel like you're being sold very hard on this?
No, because you're the only person who's actually reading past 2 sentences of the Woj article. No
favors I feel like are being done with all of this, and it just feels a little like why are you selling me this hard on this? He's a great college coach. We see college coaches go to the NBA all the time.
Who's selling Woj? What are you talking about?
Yes, I feel like I'm being sold here because the fit's not perfect. Like it's not.
It's perfect. Okay. It's beyond perfect. He's the best college coach. He's the best coach in the country, probably. Of course, the Lakers want to hire him. I'm telling you, the only reason the other teams didn't reach out to Danny Hurley is they had no prayer of getting him.
So I heard Tim Legler say this over the weekend, and he said it on ESPN, one of the pods. He said he thinks that some people are wired for the NBA and some people are wired for college. Now, we've seen crossovers, right? Larry Brown did both. Obviously, Rick Pitino's done both. There's guys who have done both. But are you if you were to asking me, give me one coach in college who you feel like is specifically wired to be a college coach, don't you think Dan Hurley might be at the top of the list? If Legler is onto something here, I could see that being a major impediment for Danny Hurley. I'm not saying he can't rewire his brain or teach himself to be a different person on a different team or adapt his tactics or what have you, but that some part of that did resonate with me. He does seem very wired for the college game. I thought that was a good way to put it.
Yeah, I think that that part where you said you can change your tactics, that I think great coaches do that. I mean, famously, Phil Jackson was a different coach in Chicago than L.A. Pat Riley was a different coach in Miami than he was in L.A. So I think great coaches adjust. And listen, you yell at your college kids, you're not going to yell at LeBron. Danny Hurley has a survival instinct here. I don't think his style is going to be a huge problem. I think he's just going to change. Because we talk about him like he's Bob Knight. He's a little more malleable than that. So I think he'll be fine. I understand what you're saying, but I generally don't believe this, that certain guys are like designed to be college coaches. Certain guys, I think it just depends where you get your first job. Like if Dan Hurley had become, and say that his dad had gone on to be on a NBA bench and he coached there, he'd probably be an NBA coach right now. I'm not sure basketball is that different. I mean, you think that certain guys like Bruce Pearl, for example, like you think at an early point of his career, he said, well, I'm more wired for college, I'll go that way. It's just sort of the way careers go. It's still basketball.
Yeah, but it is much different though, right?
How so?
Just because of the rigors of the schedule and kind of understanding, like we talk about in the NBA all the time, like schedule losses and stuff like that. There's just like an ebb and flow that happens, I think, with the pro game that doesn't exist with the college game. And the college game is totally probably different set of headaches, but you can be pedal to the metal 30 games, and it's just, I think you can just be a little bit more intense on these guys. Or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe in this day and age, people are a little more sensitive. We'll all have to be a little bit more aware of everyone's mental health, stuff like that. Maybe it makes him a more evolved person himself. He's talked about his own issues with mental health, Danny Hurley. I could see that being an issue. I could. And then eventually him kind of going back to the safe haven of college hoops.
If they win, there'll be no issue.
But do you think they're a winning team?
Now, see, if I was Danny Hurley, I might look elsewhere. This is a bad job.
Well, you didn't think any other team thought they had a prayer to get him.
No. I mean, honestly, I don't know. If Mike Malone stepped down, I'd go to Denver. I just think, like, LA's got a very flawed roster, and LeBron is very old. So you're going to a very tough situation. That's why, honestly, if I'm Dan Hurley, I would wait for another chance. This Lakers team, this is the last job I would want.
But nothing's going to be perfect. And if they're offering you a long and lucrative contract extension, why wouldn't you take it? Well, Popovich could be there for another 8 years. Who knows?
Oh, my God. Are you serious?
Also, San Antonio. Why? What? To coach Wemby?
Yes.
I mean, you're waiting
that would
around.
Popovich would coach to 83. He's not president of the United States. You need actual skills to do this.
You're right. I don't think you can be that precious, right? Like, can you wait for the absolute perfect thing?
And I think you just won 2 NCAA titles. You could be as precious as you want.
I think a lot of people would tell you the Lakers is the dream job. I know they've been cycling through coaches a lot lately, but if they're going to pay you a ton of money and you get to be in this glamour franchise where the sun never sets on Laker fans, why wouldn't you just try to test yourself with the biggest franchise?
Because test yourself. Because you're going to blow your legacy because this is a very flawed roster because of age. That's why. I mean, it's going to be hard to win out of that West. I'd be like, okay, you're going to coach LeBron. LeBron historically has been very smart about finding the right spot to win. He goes to the right conference. He goes to the right team. Now LeBron is more focused on his Hollywood producing career than actual basketball, so he's staying in L.A. But LeBron 5 years ago would have gotten back into the Eastern Conference, would have competed with the Celtics. Like, there's got to be an easier place to win than the Lakers in this current West. It's a brutal conference.
It is, but again, this hire is being made. Why? They're telling you that it's being made to develop younger players and to develop the other guys. Like, there's barely a sentence in this article about Anthony Davis. Barely a sentence. It said
this. Woj's article today said Anthony Davis is the main reason he is going to be the main decision maker of the players on this, and they want a guy he can build with.
Did you read this thing? I know you did. That's 15 paragraphs in after they've talked about Bronny 3 times. Then they also say the Lakers have been committed to make All-NBA forward Anthony Davis a significant part of the conversation. He has one sentence. One. It's not Anthony Davis.
Well, they're saying it's
Maybe
Anthony
it should be.
They're saying it's Anthony Davis. I mean, there is this narrative out there that it's all about Anthony Davis and not about LeBron.
That's LeBron's people trying to throw you off the scent that this is anything but about LeBron and Bronny. And apparently now, because the collective bargaining agreement makes it harder to get superstars. Again, I got a couple thoughts I'm holding in my head all at once, which is I'm not rooting for this to fail by any stretch, but I do think it's going to be an uphill climb for him. It might be tough for Dan Hurley if he takes the job.
I think we agree on that. It's a really tough place to win right now.
And I think that this is also just all being done. This is being done with Bronny in mind.
Yeah, I see. That could all be true. But also one thing that LeBron himself tweeted about Dan Hurley, he runs a really cool offense.
Sure.
And if you watch the Lakers last year, I mean, how many times was it there's 5 seconds left on the shot clock and D'Angelo Russell has to hoist up a 3? They were not getting a lot of motion on their offense, so I think they could use a new X's and O's thing. And I think Danny Hurley will maximize the talent just on that. Like last year, I felt like they left a lot of points on the table, especially during the regular season where they didn't really get their rotations right as Darvin Ham was off criticized. I think there's a lot of meat left on the bone for this actual offense.
Okay, and Danny Hurley's going to have to go through that too, because now you're going to have NBA defenses who are going to be defending this amazing college offense. Yeah, you have your NBA players running your college offense, but I mean, how many games was UConn favored in last year? Like, you're stepping up major. I'm not saying that the new Big East is chump change, but you are stepping up major in a major just talent.
Well, yeah, but at least it's any offense. It can't be worse than whatever Darvin Ham was doing. I mean, that offense was infuriating. Like, And maybe it's just D'Angelo Russell, but that offense was really hard to watch.
He's coming off one of his great seasons, D'Angelo Russell. I know you loathe his playing
I just think
style.
like, if you have a shooting point guard, like there definitely was something off in the chemistry, and that's why I think they fell apart against the Nuggets. They weren't really running an effective offense. I don't think that's a hot take by any means. And Dan Hurley, listen, he's coming off college. Maybe that kind of X's and O's. And you had a good point, like using the guys at the end of the bench, getting them to develop a little more consistency out of Rui Hachimura can't hurt. I mean, honestly, and JJ Redick, that's the wrong hire because you have no idea. That's a huge risk for a 40-year-old LeBron to bring in a guy who's never coached. This is far and away the best hire they could make.
I'll give you that it's definitely better than JJ. And I don't know who, again, an untested, unproven guy, but Dan Hurley is untested, unproven in his own way because he's never done this on the pro level.
Way more proven than JJ Redick. You have to admit that.
I don't know.
And actually more, and listen, if you're going to hire James Borrego, just don't even bother. You're going to fire him in 2 years. So what's the point?
No, James Borrego's got the good relationship with Anthony Davis. So if it really was about Anthony Davis, they'd probably hire him.
They should hire Dan Hurley. Forget all the side stuff. Like, man, it's a bit risky to bring in a college coach, but they need to do something radical here because it's going to be an uphill battle to win a title. I'd hire him 10 times out of 10 times.
Okay. You don't feel like you're being overly sold something here?
No, because you're the only one who's paying attention to this whole Woj part of it.
Because they're it's like Easter eggs. Don't you love that about like movies and TV shows and stuff?
When it comes to
Taylor Swift songs?
I don't know. Do you really think like that these stories, like these conspiracy theories about this, are all true? Is it possible that the Lakers just like finally figured out, hey, you know who'd be good? Dan Hurley. Let's call him. And then he came in and he interviewed, and they're like, let's do it. Is it possible that it's way simpler than you think?
It's possible. But didn't you think it was odd that they announced by Woj last Thursday that they were prepared to offer him a long and lucrative contract extension, and then it turns out they had never even met with him in person?
No. I think it's odd that if they thought they had a chance at Dan Hurley that they wouldn't take a swing at that. That would be very odd. Like, what's odd about that? Like, I don't know. How do most coaching hires happen?
Don't you feel like you want to get a feel for the person at all?
Dude just won 2 national titles. He's been on TV all the time. He's a Hurley. Like, yes. I mean, you've got to hire that guy. If you think you could get him, yes. You really think like, oh, let's sit down and find out what Dan Hurley's about? Like, They don't know?
No, because this is how bad hires happen, is you think you might be getting one thing, you don't do your due diligence, you do it about the players, why wouldn't you do it about the coach?
Because they're about to hire JJ Redick and they could get Dan Hurley. This is the greatest day in front office history.
855-212-4227. All right, you're welcome to weigh in. This Dan Hurley decision is being, we're going to expect it any moment. You want to do a show bet on when we get the news. And then whoever was furthest away buys breakfast tomorrow. No? Pete, you don't like that? All right, you don't have to do it.
I'll do it.
I shamed you into it.
Yeah, you did.
What time is this going to happen? We'll go Eastern Standard.
That's assuming that it doesn't happen before. When are we doing this? When's the bet? Because it could happen before 10 a.m. Eastern.
Right. You want to take now?
No. I don't want to because it's only 5:16 in LA right now.
Go over though.
Closest without going over. Yep. What time is that show NBA Today on? I think that
Maggie, by the way, does not think this is actual an NBA coaching hire. She thinks this is a media story.
Both. I think it's everything. I think it's going to happen at 1:12 Eastern time.
Perloff.
Poof. I'll go 12 noon Eastern.
Okay. Manny?
It will break at 12:10 Eastern time.
Okay. Pete?
11:59.
Oh, very smart there.
AM.
Price is Right style.
Eastern.
All right.
Well, okay, but I hate to say this. Like, the bet was who's farthest away. There's no way I can be farthest away because you guys just pinned me.
Yeah, that's true.
You can't change it now.
So it's really going to be either Pete or me who's buying breakfast for everybody. Right. 855-212-4227.
Like, I don't know the math because I haven't watched a lot of Prices Right lately, but I think I can't lose this.
No, you might be all right. We'll find a way for you to
He
lose.
said 11:59, and I'm 12 noon. So if it's earlier, then it's Manny. And then Pete had 12:10?
No, Manny at 12:10.
Okay.
Pete is 11:59.
So there's no... You guys really misplayed your hand on this one. I'm so sorry.
I think I'm going to nail it, though. What if I get it on the nose?
It's also going to be very funny when I don't come in tomorrow with any food because I don't work tomorrow.
Wait a minute. 855-212-4227.
And Bogusch is not in the. We had to reset this.
No, we don't. No, we don't.
That's Bogusch.
We don't have Bogusch. That's true. We'll get him in just a minute because he'll have headlines for us. You're still welcome to weigh in on Caitlin Clark, her getting snubbed from Team USA. If you'd like to vote on our poll, which is, should Caitlin Clark be on the Olympic team? Yes is winning. 66% of the vote. 66% of you say yes, she should be on Team USA. 34% saying no. So you are welcome to weigh in on that at 855-212-4227.
I'm thinking omelet, by the way, for tomorrow. Maybe like...
now you're going surf and turf?
Maybe like a smoked salmon bagel. I think we could spend a lot of money on this tomorrow.
It's going to be 9 a.m. We're all going to be wrong.
It's going to be, you want the French toast with the gold flakes on it?
Yeah, I want to spend some money here now that you guys thought you were getting me and screwed it up.
Someone else's money. Okay, we've got that for you and more headlines. Just a moment. Don't move.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. 1 minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back to Maggie Perloff. I am just so glad that my coworkers are bad at math and help me out on this bet right now. We have a bet. What time will Danny Hurley announce his decision on whether he's taking the Lakers job?
Wait, not Danny Hurley. When will the news break? He's not going to go out and...
Yeah, he will, won't he?
I'm assuming Woj is going to break it.
Well, whatever, same difference.
No, I just want to make it clear.
It's not going to come from the Lakers. Okay, just partial words here. I hear what you're saying. When will the news come out? So whoever is farthest from the right time has to buy breakfast tomorrow. So Maggie went 1:12
Eastern.
1:12 Eastern. I went noon Eastern. Then Pete and Manny, who's in today for EJ, pinned me in. Pete went 11:59 a.m. and Manny went 12:10 a.m. I can't lose. There's no way mathematically I can be farthest from the hole. So right now the contest is Pete's at 11:59, Maggie's at 1:12. Before noon, Pete buys breakfast. Afternoon, Pete buys. Otherwise, it's you, Maggie. So Andrew Bogusch didn't get to bet. What do you want to do?
Well, I don't know what I'm supposed to do now because my only option is to say like 12:05 in between you and Manny to be safe from not buying breakfast.
I have a thing. We should probably reset and do. You can't pick anything under 10 minutes apart from another time.
No, we should do it blindly. Everybody should submit their picks to somebody else.
No, because you tried to Price is Right me, dude.
Yeah.
You tried to get me.
Definitely did.
You totally did. And it backfired.
I can still do it blindly.
All right. This is the Yodel game, Price is Right. No.
The guy climb out the mountain? I just fell off the mountain.
Again.
Well, you might be safe, Pete, because it could break at 6 o'clock, and then it will be me.
But how are we going to get Bogusch involved here?
No. It'll still be Bilotti.
No, because I'm 1:12 when I be... Oh, yeah, no, he would be furthest.
Oh
no, we
God.
need to... It
We're
needs
good
to
at
break
sports.
now.
We're terrible at math.
If it breaks the next 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's got to break early for you to lose, Maggie.
Yeah.
Bogusch, what's your time?
12:05.
There you go.
I'm not doing it anymore. Bogusch, what's the headlines today?
That
boy.
stuff, right. Luka Doncic blames his 8 turnovers and 4 missed free throws for the Mavs losing Game 2 in Boston last night. A second straight dud from Kyrie Irving didn't help either.
A lot of shots were hitting the back rim. That could piss you off as a competitor. But it's all part of the game of basketball, and you got to accept the ups and downs of this. That's I would say, the toughest challenge when you're in a series. You want to play extremely well, especially when you're playing in the finals.
Wait a minute. We're not doing this blindly?
It's done. It's been done.
In each game so far, Kyrie has scored fewer points than shots taken. He had 16 points last night, 7 of 18 from the floor. Luka did finish with 32 points, 11 rebounds, and 11 assists, but only 9 of those points came in the second half as Dallas faded into a 105-98 loss and an 0-2 series hole. Jason Tatum didn't shoot any better than Kyrie, 6 for 22, but he don't care.
It has a lot to do with that. I've been here before and we didn't win. And it's just like, we're so close to what we're trying to accomplish. Why would I let my ego or feel my need to score all the points get in the way of that?
Tatum finished with 18 points, 9 rebounds, 12 assists. Jaylen Brown scored 21. Drew Holiday led Boston with 26. They have now won 9 in a row. They are 14-2 overall this postseason. But Kristaps Porzingis might have tweaked his right calf injury watching the final 4+ minutes from the bench. He said post-game he might get new imaging of the leg before Game 3 in Dallas Wednesday night.
By the way, we can order like a fancy smoked fish platter from one of these for $295.
Stick it in your ear.
Here's the thing. There's only going to be one person eating some kind of fish this week, and I think it's going to be me. Eating the tuna fish on the Jello.
We have a free breakfast tomorrow. Let's take advantage of this. You could make us all sick on Friday or whatever that.
Hopefully it'll be well digested by then.
Yeah, how can you really spend money on breakfast? It's hard. We'll find a way.
It's New York City. There's easily ways we can spend money on breakfast.
You throw some lox on a bagel, and that's double digits.
Caviar?
Yeah.
Caviar for breakfast? Well, that
I
is
am not putting in. If I lose this thing, you are not getting an order of caviar. There's no chance in the world that will be happening.
You, by the way, often graciously offer to get Dunkin' Donuts. I always say no to that. We could do Dunkin'. You enjoy Dunkin'?
Yeah, sure. That's fine with me.
Okay, Dunkin' is all right.
It's got to be on Wednesday, though, when you get multiple points. That's why Pete offers on Wednesdays.
No, it could be any day. I get multiple points with a 500-pound order.
You know there's a deal when Pete offers Dunkin'. That means there's something times 3.
Wow. Points like Jason Tatum scoring?
That's how I live, on points.
Man, it is great sometimes when the points kick in and you're least expecting it. Happened to me with an Amazon order the other day. They're like, would you like to pay for this on points? It's like, yes, this is amazing. It's like I just got it all for free.
But you know it. I don't know how, but I assume this is all a scam. Any point system, you're losing out. Like anytime they're like, anytime I order something online, get this, sign up for our text and email and get $3 off shipping. I know that it's going to screw me at some point.
Yeah, because they're taking your data so that they can then sell it and you can get hacked or robocalls or all that awful stuff.
Right, and you're spending more eventually because you keep doing it.
I know. Yeah, it's all a ripoff, including Siddell's, which is a very well-known high-end breakfast place where we can get a smoked salmon tower for $375.
That's it? A
But
tower.
they want my email. They want my email address, so
I'll throw that tower out the window if you want. I will. I'll open one of these big windows. Goodbye. Tower for everybody, not here.
By the way, that was kind of weak of you to go 1205, Bogusch.
What was I supposed to do? Like harm myself? I'm not buying the salmon tower. I got to pick safety. I know how this works. What do you want me to say? 3:30?
Come on, Bogusch, let's go. Not now, actually. No, we'll all be wrong.
Their combined attendance over 100,000 from Mets, Phillies in London over the weekend. Those that were there yesterday saw an ending not seen since 2015.
It's a closer by committee. He's the man today with the pressure on his shoulders. And Castellanos' bat explodes. And they're going to get the runner at home. They're going to get the double play to win the game. What an end. The shattered bat. The runner out at home plate. And the ball fired into the glove. And the first baseman, Pete Alonso.
That's how it sounded on English TV as the Mets held on for a 6-5 win in a 2-game split with those Phillies. A game-ending 2-2-3 double play. The first one of those since in 9 years.
Up next, Benny Hill.
Everything sounds better with a British accent.
Everything.
Including the Mets, which is hard to do.
They still sound terrible. They still terrible.
But they were less terrible yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. You think that's an accident? That you got a British guy calling the game
I
and
do
all
believe
of a sudden...
that they say rubbish over there.
Yeah, even better. I love rubbish. Like the word. I don't love that I'm going to be eating rubbish probably on Friday. It's just going to be
rubbish.
Even Pete Alonso sounds better in the British accent.
That's debatable. Oh, you mean just the name?
He'll be off the team soon.
Okay.
So
I just saw they're negotiating a $200 million contract with him.
Oh, great. Good.
Yeah.
So
that should go. That should go well.
Hit home runs and not say a word. Yeah, that's what the Mets need.
That contract will be rubbish in a few years.
It will. Not a few.
Probably a bargain in today's baseball. $200 million for 1 year. Bryce Harper, big home run on Saturday. Can we talk about his MVP hopes? MV3? You in, Pete?
Let's talk about it. He's going to win it, and that's it. We don't need to talk about it anymore.
No, I think actually Ohtani's going to win, but Bryce will be second.
He's getting close.
How about the soccer celebration after the home run?
The whole thing was pretty cool, by the way. I hate to say it. And they've been doing this for a couple of years. I've never noticed it. I guess my team was over there.
They did it in 2019, and then COVID, and then they went back last year and this year. I think they want to do it every year.
they're not going to put a team over there. That's not where this is headed.
No, please no.
But apparently, these are the 2 largest crowds for any MLB game this year. Huh? Like nobody here has drawn 53 plus, and that's what they did the 2 days there. So it's kind
of
of
the novelty
working.
of it. I like Bryce Harper's idea. Just send more teams over and have them over there for like a week at least. To do 2 days and then come back is just brutal schedule.
Well, then you won't draw 53.
You might.
If you water it down, it's not gonna do as well.
But that's more fan bases.
Yeah.
To buy tickets.
I just think that if you do that, I understand your strategy, Maggie, but then it hurts you more on the back end because once you get used to the London time, then you get back to the East Coast and your clock's all off.
Do it up against the All-Star break, which I know they wouldn't love, but then that could be a fun.
Actually, that makes a lot of sense.
Because, the All-Star break isn't that taxing for the guys who are All-Stars.
Right. Although they should cycle back to those guys in like 10 days and see if they still feel like they should have been there longer. Because when I've gone to Europe, I feel worse coming home.
Yeah, me too.
Than going there. Mm-hmm. So I feel like, to your point, Perloff, like when the longer you're there, the more entrenched you get on that clock, and then you come back here and it feels even worse. So they might end up liking the fact that they were only in and out in like 72 hours.
We could keep some players there longer. Maybe Adam Ottavino. He's another guy you could keep there longer.
Just drop him off in a pub somewhere and tell him the bus leaves in an hour.
Well, one thing about doing it right before the All-Star game, that's sort of an unfair advantage for the Mets because the Phillies have a lot of players going to the All-Star
Thanks for
game.
mentioning that. Giants tight end Darren Waller is retiring after 9 seasons at just 31 years old. Waller says a November health scare changed his perspective on things. The unnamed issue left him in the hospital for 3 days, unable to stand, feed himself, or use the bathroom on his own. Jeez. The Giants have been expecting this by most accounts. They get $12 million in cap savings.
I'm curious. November this happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is there a reason why it took a while for him to make a decision? Just because I'm just looking at the Giant roster. Like
they could have used that cap space a long time, when the offseason started?
I was more confused as to why it took until now for us to know that this happened. Was he out? Did he miss game? I don't remember what the end of his season was like.
Nothing really sparked any thought of it, but I'm just curious why it took that long for him. But hopefully everything is better now.
Well, he was in the lab, recording studio.
Honestly, I don't.
The ones and twos.
My thought was he's still under contract, right? Like, that's a lot of money to turn down if you can play. I was surprised he retired. I guess it just feels like maybe he's not totally stable in his life because that's a big contract to turn down, as I recall. They paid him a little, right?
So if you're asking about last year, he had 2 targets and 1 reception on October 29th and missed November 5th, November 12th, 19th, 26th, and 11th, and then came back on December 17th where he had 4 receptions.
Okay, so
40 yards.
A November issue would have happened in that window of him being out.
So I'm reading an article here from Yahoo that says this hospital stay was midway through the season while he was away from the team with a hamstring injury suffered in Week 8 against the Jets.
Okay.
He's like, if I'm reading on Spotrac, $12 million due next year. Like, dude, play football. Don't become a recording artist. Unless I don't know what his health is. So I would never put that on anyone. But that's a huge contract for a guy who's not earned that much.
You're also poo-pooing his musical chops. Maybe this is the more lucrative choice.
Well, I think you can publicize your music while you're on the field not getting passes from Daniel Jones.
Jeez.
Or can you?
Daniel Jones might want to consider a musical career.
Yeah. He's the most boring pop star of all time, be Daniel Jones.
Him and Scotty Scheffler could become a duo.
Actually, we've seen Daniel Jones on stage with Zach Bryan. No thank you on the segment. Singing. That's off.
Honestly, Daniel Jones makes Eli Manning look like Iggy Pop. I mean, it's just it's crazy.
Yeah, the pleated tour.
The Seattle Storm's 6-game win streak ending with an 83-64 loss in Minnesota. The Lynx got 32 points on 7 threes from Caleb McBride. Kyle Larson got his 3rd win of the NASCAR season at Sonoma, and another Scotty Scheffler win by 1 shot over Kalmar Cow at the Memorial. He is the first with 5 wins in a season since Justin Thomas in 2016.
True story.
17. Anything else, Pete?
Why'd you grow into Scotty Scheffler?
Oh, let's go back. Let's take a look back at what's happened in the last month.
I feel like you should take a look back and see that we were basically right and you were wrong.
Wait, hold on.
I don't care if
New
I'm
footage came out. There's an hour and a half of other police officers' body cam footage, and it does look like the officer got hurt. the one who got dragged.
Finally, they put the pictures out.
Yes, and he was like, ow, and they're like, are you all right? Are you all right? So something definitely happened. He definitely got dragged, ripped the pants.
Did he definitely get dragged? We know he got hurt.
He definitely got
They
something.
were injured, scrapes, but did he get dragged?
I don't know, but he definitely wasn't making it up.
He's a joke in every possible. That guy, the fact that he was doing donuts with a drunk person in the back. Like,
yeah, you missed that, Pete.
Come on.
That was 10 years ago, but still.
He's been penalized 5 times. I mean, he's not.
I'm
sorry, that does not sound like a good cop to me.
But in this instance, people were wondering whether he just totally made it up, like fabricated it. You had other officers coming up to him being like, are you all right? They seemed genuinely concerned. So I don't think he was making it up. I thought the funny part of this and some of the body cam footage that got released was them slowly figuring out who he is. And then like the realization like, oh no, we are all in deep. Because they're like, yeah, so you must be pretty good if you're playing at this tournament, right? And he's like, yeah, I guess you could say I'm pretty good. And then someone's like, he's the number 1 player in the world. They're like, you're the number 1 player in the world? They can't believe it. And then the first question they ask is, so is Tiger Woods really that good?
Was this at the station or out on the road?
Both. But in the station is where they're like, you're pretty low key for being the number 1. Do we have the audio, Manny? Do you want to hear a little bit of it? We'll get it for you. But it's like,
so why'd they put the orange shirt on him?
I have no idea. Maybe it's just policy. We have a little bit of it. This is a little of the Scotty Scheffler. These are other body cams of the other Louisville PD who are picking up their conversations.
You have one. All my stuff's in there. My player bag, my wallet, my phone.
Have a seat. Have a seat. Have you been drinking or anything? You got mouthwash.
Mouthwash.
That's it?
Yeah, I woke up about a half hour ago.
Okay, put your feet in for me. All right. Put your, we'll talk in a second. Put your knee in. Are you okay?
Ouch.
Ouch.
That sounds like me if I missed a layup. I'm like, oh, my ankle hurts. Ouch.
My ankle.
I tripped on the way up.
My elbow. My elbow.
Yeah. When they asked about Tiger Woods, you can feel them. Again, it's an hour and a half of footage. You can feel them just sort of like, oh no, as they have no clue who this guy is, and they start to realize like, we've got the number 1 golfer in the world. Like, I guess that's why there's so much media attention, huh?
We're gonna have to eat tuna jello. It's the same realization.
And then they made a decision. Let's
Sobering.
put him in an orange shirt and charge him with a felony. And multiple other counts are going to be dropped in 2 weeks. I mean, come on, this was a disaster. I'm sorry, Pete. Like, they screwed up. They should be sued. And Scotty Scheffler won't sue him because he doesn't want the people of Louisville to play. But I would have sued him because, like, do your job. Sorry, that is the last I will say of that.
Yeah, I can't explain the orange jumpsuit. I can't explain the felony. All I know is that the cops took a very different tone with him. They were just like more curious, like, so when'd you start playing golf? He's like, I was about 3. Wow.
Could you sign this real quick?
Oh yeah, I wanted to ask for photos.
Are they?
Not the mugshot.
Somebody, whoever is in charge of that police is dying to fire someone right now. That is a fact. Like, someone's got to get fired, right?
I don't know.
No, I mean, they were past that point. He
Yeah, I
got
think
like,
it's over.
a letter in his file or whatever, and that's it.
Yeah, but they can't fire him, but they're dying. You don't think the head of that police is furious with everybody right now?
Well, listen, I mean, if you go to any job in America, I'm sure somebody wants someone fired.
I don't think.
Pete, wow, that was a hearty laugh.
As he takes out his laminated list.
Wow. Would you like to share with the class?
NFL playlist.
Whoa.
I
You
don't
had
think,
that ready to go. That hit you right in the sweet spot.
Yeah, but I don't think, Pete, nobody you work with made you a national laughingstock.
No.
Only the 3 previous shows.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of history to go back to.
Gio, Brian Jones, David Amendolara,
Taz.
Yourself.
Wow. All right. Pete, but clearly there's got to be a list somewhere. People to off.
Yeah, no.
Do you look at it with lipstick on, Steve Buscemi?
Just cross it out.
I'm glad I called that guy.
There are a couple people here I am very nice to for that specific reason. No one in this room, of
It's
course.
no one here,
No.
please.
Just someone upstairs,
Maybe the
11th floor.
newsroom, but no.
Newsroom. 10 feet away. Uh-huh. That narrows it down. Does their name rhyme with?
I am not saying anything.
All right, that's enough of that. Bogusch,
Ouch,
thank
my
you.
knee.
So, thank you. Coming up, we get more of your Caitlin Clark calls. Also, whose stock was up, whose stock is down. It's the M&P 500 coming to you next.
You're in a 5-minute break.
Peter Bellotti, 5 days off in a row, but his grumpy demeanor didn't let it show. Back on the Maggie and Perloff show, his frown as deep as ever, you know. Peter, oh Peter, why the grumpy face? 5 days of freedom, not a single trace of joy or laughter, just that familiar frown. Back on the air, bringing everyone down. A week of no work, just time to unwind. Still that grumpy mood he couldn't leave behind. 5 days off, but it's all the same. Back with a grumble, no one to blame. Peter, oh Peter, why the grumpy face? 5 days of freedom, not a single trace of joy or laughter, just that familiar frown. Back on the air, bringing everyone down. So here's to Bellotti with days off plenty. Grumpy as ever, his mood's never empty. 5 days off didn't change a thing. Back with a grump, let's hear the show. Peter Bellotti, 5 days off in a row, but oh, Maggie Gray on the radio waves, talking sports and scores and the games we crave. But when she's done with touchdowns and 3-point shots, she dives into conspiracies and connects the dots. Oh, Maggie Gray, with your wild theories, you make history sound like a daytime series. From grassy knolls to the CIA, what will you dream of today? JFK wasn't just a simple case. I got the scoop right here on my plate. She's got a playbook full of suspects, from mob bosses to alien insects. Oh, Maggie Gray, with your wild theories, you make history sound like a daytime series. From grassy knolls to the CIA, what will you dream of today? Oh, Maggie Gray, with your wild theories, you make his state plot. Maybe it's something that we all forgot. She breaks it down like a post-game review, analyzing every clue. Oh, Mel, you're true. Oh, Maggie Gray, with your wild theories, you make history sound like a daytime series. From grassy knolls to the CIA, what will you dream of today? In a kitchen dark with shadows long, Andrew Perloff sings his eerie song with a cauldron bubbling and a wicked gleam. He's cooking up a devilish dream. Andrew Perloff, the spooky chef king, with devilish ideas that make nightmares sing. Bull's testicles, a sinister feast in his haunted kitchen. He's the culinary beast. He starts with a flame, burning so bright, casting spooky shadows in the dead of night, slicing and dicing with a sinister flair.
One minute remaining. "45 seconds remaining. "30 seconds remaining. "15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
The M&P 500 on the Infinity Sports Network.
This portion of the show is brought to you by Wesley Financial. Stuck in a timeshare and want out? Contact Wesley Financial Group now and get a free timeshare exit information kit at wesleyfinancialgroup.com. New segment, Maggie and Perloff, the M&P 500. Stock up and stock down from the weekend. Perloff, whose stock is up after a fun weekend?
All right, I have to go with a former Philadelphia Philly. How about Jason Worth? Probably hadn't thought about Jason Worth in a long time. He's back, and he's in the horse game.
I would put it right up there with winning with the biggest stage. Horse racing is the most underrated sport in the world, bar none. It's the biggest game. You got the Derby, the Preakness, the Belmont. We just won the Belmont. This is as good as it gets in horse racing. It's as good as it gets in sports.
So Jason Worth co-owns a horse named Dornoch, who won the Belmont Stakes that was in Saratoga this year. That is pretty cool. Won a World Series in 2008. Won a Belmont. That's got to be thrilling. Nobody looks happier, Maggie, than the guys who win those horse races. And Jason Worth looks like a combination of Dog the Bounty Hunter and maybe ZZ Top.
Yeah.
He's got this long, weird beard. He's a weird-looking dude. I loved him as a player. He was all out, and now he's all out as a horse owner. He's up.
Yeah, I don't think of horse racing as being underrated. It's like rich person sport. Anyway.
Yeah, no, it's weird. I never thought it'd be rated one way or the other, but okay.
My stock up, the M&P 500. This is Damar Hamlin at his own charity basketball event, and you hear the announcer counting down, and then you hear the crowd explode.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
It was a crossover, step back jump shot, wins the game. How about Damar Hamlin in his own charity game, crosses someone up, makes the game-winning shot, is the hero of the game, and after everything that guy's been through, he deserves all the good things coming his way. That was a really cool moment for Damar Hamlin.
I mean, I think playing NFL next year, making a roster is a more higher priority but it is super cool, and he is just like full of life and joy and fun. And even the person he crossed over seemed happy about it.
All the way back, baby, for Damar Hamlin. You love to see it. Okay, if we're going to do stock up in the M&P 500, that means we have to do stock down. Perloff, who's down today?
I mean, the guy who I usually have down is journeyman outfielder Trey Cabbage. Let me see, make sure I have the right team here. Manny, was he on the Angels or the Astros?
He's on the Astros.
Okay, so Trey Cabbage. And
Perloff's locked into this story.
I don't feel bad, by the way. He's 27. He's played 32 MLB games. And this was definitely the worst moment in his young career. Let's play it.
Here's the pitch on O'Hoppe, and he swings, lifts a high fly ball that's carrying deep out into left center, and jumping up and coming away with that one, or not. And a throw back to first base, and this ball is a home run. It was hard to tell. Angels had Pilar running all the way back to first base, and then they had to make sure that he wasn't overpassed there by O'Hoppe. What a odd ending, a walk-off win, but this play is going to be challenged by the Astros, so we're going to keep it right here.
So,
does anyone have any idea what's going on in that highlight?
Courtesy of Angels Radio. So what happened was Trey Cabbage jumped the wall, looked like he caught the ball. Everyone thought he caught the ball. Amazing play. Saved, it was a 7-7 game, saved the game. Turned out he dropped it. And he said the ball fell into the stands. I don't know if there was fan interference. So it was a walk-off homer. It was over. So the dude jumped the fence, which is all, I think, every young baseball player's fantasy. To jump the fence and save a home run, especially in the 9th inning, is an incredible feat. And he had it, and he blew it. Poor Trey Cabbage. He'll be back, though. You can't slow down. You can't contain Trey Cabbage.
What a name. All right, M&P stock up, stock down from the weekend. I'm going to do my stock down, and it's been confirmed now a little bit, which is the person who Luka and Kyrie were jawing at during last night's game, Celtics win, they're up 2-0 in the NBA Finals, was the owner of the Boston Celtics, Wyc Grousbeck, who they said allegedly taunted Luka Doncic, and then Doncic started barking back at him. What kind of owner is getting into it with the players? I mean,
didn't Matt Ishbia do that?
And Ishbia's a clown, and Wyc Grousbeck's a clown, and when Mark Cuban would do this, he would mostly just jaw at the officials. He looked like a clown. If you're the owner of the team, you cannot be going back and forth with the opponent. That is so classless and clueless. You look completely stupid. Yes, you have the team. That doesn't give you the right to start jawing at the opposing players, whether you started it or they started it. That is behavior completely unbecoming of an owner.
Wait,
that is silly.
Aren't owners supposed to act like, what if you're acting like a fan? What if you're a huge fan?
You shouldn't be acting like a fan.
Why can't
own
an
the
owner
team.
be a fan?
Okay, well, you can be a fan, do it in a positive way. You don't have to be jawing back and forth at Luka or taunting him.
So Kyrie comes out and says the Celtics fans aren't being loud enough. I thought they would bring more. So maybe the owner was trying to get everyone into it.
That's not his job. You can leave that to the people with the T-shirt cannons and all the other people that you pay to be in that building. Silly. All right, M&P, stock up, stock down. Coming up, Caitlin Clark, snubbed. Get our reaction.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. 1 minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Caitlin Clark, the saga continues, Perloff. She gets left off the Olympic roster.
Saga?
It's
What?
a saga.
Oh, my God. It's been nothing but a meteoric rise. This is not a saga. This is not, oh, poor Caitlin Clark.
You don't think she gets any backlash whatsoever? There's been no controversy around Caitlin Clark. Not because she's courting it. I'm just saying around her. She's not asking for any of this. And in fact, she's taken the high road at every single opportunity. They should name the high road after her.
Well, I'm just saying, like, this is not a tragedy in her life. She did not get named to the Olympic team at 22 years old.
No.
She has 5 Olympics ahead of her.
Nobody's saying it's a tragedy, and she did not get named to the Olympic roster. Welcome to the show, by the way. Glad to have you on this Monday. Lots happening, and we'll get to all of it. But Caitlin Clark certainly is one of the top stories from the weekend because I think fans were really surprised, and I'll count myself as one of them, because Caitlin Clark is the biggest thing in women's basketball right now, and she's a huge star. And because I live in the real world where I know that sports is a business, and I understand that growing the game is important, I was shocked that she was left off the roster. No, is it a tragedy? No, it's not a tragedy. She'll be fine. But I'm bummed. I'm bummed because there's an opportunity right now for women's hoops like never before. And I don't know what it's going to look like in 4 years. Maybe it looks way better. Maybe it doesn't. I have no idea. But I know what it looks like right now. And what it looks like right now is that the public at large cannot get enough Caitlin Clark. So leaving her off this team, which was a choice, because it's not like she's been horrible since she walked onto the floor in the WNBA. In fact, she's been pretty dang good considering she's got, 11 games under her belt, 12 games under her belt, and she won Rookie of the Month. She has more defensive attention on her than anybody maybe in the history of the league walking into the league, and she still is out there doing her thing. You could have easily, in such a subjective manner that they pick these teams anyway, you could have easily found a spot for her, and her fans would have come with it.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, she'll definitely be an injury replacement, so the whole thing is a bit silly in my opinion.
I don't know.
I'll be willing to double or nothing that bet I'm going to win tomorrow on the announcement of Danny Hurley. She's definitely going to be at the Olympics. You realize that? Like, there's going to be, every Olympic team has injury replacements, right? Would she be 1 or 2 on that list?
Well, let's deal with what we know today.
It's an Olympic
team. What we know today
team.
is she's off the team. That's a choice.
It's an Olympic team. It's supposed to be a team. It's not a marketing event. It's not an exhibition game. Or is it an exhibition game?
Well, they're going for a gold medal.
Right. That's why it's a real team. Like, they should be able to do whatever process they think gets them the best roster. And you could argue that maybe Diana Taurasi at 41 isn't that option, but she's still pretty darn good. She's probably just as good as Caitlin Clark.
Okay, so here's a question
So
for you.
my question, and she's out of experience. So I don't agree that it's like a team that should be picked just for marketing reasons. I think it should be picked for competitive reasons.
Okay, the women have won 7 gold medals in a row. They are amazing. Yet they don't get nearly the amount of attention and respect, maybe, but definitely attention that they deserve for having such a gaudy Olympic record. You can single-handedly help to remedy that by simply leaning in to the phenom that already exists. You don't have to manufacture it. You don't have to create it out of thin air. It's been made for you. It's been handed to you. All you have to do is just reach out and take it. And I don't understand why the Olympic team won't just do that. It's not like you are really making her cut the line. There have been other rookies who have been named to Olympic teams before. This would not be unprecedented. And I think it would also be a great opportunity for her to maybe gel with some of these women and get to know some of these women so we can get rid of this idea that they're all jealous of her and that there's all this tension behind the scenes. Why not embrace her a little bit more? And that could start with a month to all together in Paris.
God, one of the funny contradictions about Caitlin Clark is not putting her on their team got the Olympic team more attention than it's ever gotten before. And basically coming down harder on her players fouling her, which is supposed to be bad for Caitlin Clark, has just elevated the Caitlin Clark game. She's more famous. The more we, not putting her on the team is ironically going to be the best thing they can do. Once she's on the team and scoring like 5 points a game because they're all sharing the ball in blowouts, then we're probably not going to care nearly as much. She's actually more powerful being off the team in a funny way. But I think she will eventually make the team. But regardless, like this shouldn't be the kind of issue that you're framing it as about popularity or about team, Caitlin Clark's chemistry. Like, what are we doing? Like, you build a sport by being this awesome competitive product. You don't force it by putting the most popular players out front.
Okay, well, I ask you a question. I just told you the women have won 7 gold medals in a row.
Right, so you're like, it's so easy. They might as well go for the more entertaining
No,
aspect.
what I'm saying is they've been dominant, and do you watch? No. And nobody does.
No, but I don't think as many people are watching the men's because of the weird times of the Olympics lately either.
Well,
like
take that out of it. Take that out of it.
But even so, I don't think people really care that much about this men's team because it hasn't been super competitive lately.
I think that the point is that they've been awesome, and yet something, and the WNBA play has been great for years. But what is happening now? You're catching lightning in a bottle with Caitlin, and it's not a crime for people to like something. It's sports, for goodness sakes. This isn't politics. This isn't solving world peace. I know the Olympics love to say they do stuff like that, but it's not that, okay? Why does it feel like fans are being punished just because they like something? What is that? And again, like, it's not that she's going to be, is she really going to be cheating somebody out of a spot? Did LeBron James cheat somebody out of a spot when he, Dwayne Wade, and Carmelo Anthony sat on the end of the bench in 2004?
No, because nobody wanted to go because it's stupid.
That's not the point.
Well, no. Like, honestly, if other veterans wanted to go, I assume that they would have said, hey, can I go there instead of LeBron, right? Like, isn't that what happened that year?
Perloff, they realized that they had young people who were stars, and they put them in the Olympic team and in the pipeline. This is part of it.
Well, no, but that particular team, like, correct me if I'm wrong, it was a situation like they needed to fill out the roster, right?
This was 2004.
It wasn't a marketing decision like, let's get the young, or was it? I'm asking you.
I think it might have been both. Yes, it was in the shadow of 9/11, 2004. Security was a major issue. I'm just saying that it's like, people are saying that she's cutting the line, but we watch other people, other young players get put on these teams all the time. And
I mean, what is give me another example besides the men's Olympic team where we cut the line and just put the popular player in an advanced place.
There's definitely politics that goes on with the gymnastics teams and figure skating as well. I know that some are trials and judged events, but there is a
with the emphasis on winning a gold medal in gymnastics, like, they are very competitive.
You don't think the Carolis were playing favorites?
Well,
they definitely are.
Yeah, but I mean, I think winning a gold, first of all, was super dicey for them. And it was totally different. Like, they could not say, this person's popular, I'm going to get him on here. Like, they needed to win. Same with ice skating. Like, I don't think the margin of error is there that you could do a marketing move.
Listen, it's not the same. You're asking me to give you these examples.
I mean, maybe in boxing or UFC or something, they'll promote somebody will get a title shot who's not ready because they're popular. Maybe that's the analogy, but that's not ideal either.
What does it matter? See, again, why am I being punished because I want to watch somebody?
You're not being punished. If you love women's basketball so much, you're going to enjoy this just as much with or without Caitlin.
Well, see, that's where then we're just denying what's happening in the WNBA, and we're denying what happened with women's college basketball. We're denying the fact that there is this singular person that people want to tune in for. Like, why deny that? Why go against what we all know is true, which is record numbers on her games and record eyeballs and attention? And just like, are we just going to pretend that doesn't exist because it's the Olympic team? I don't get it.
So you're just going to, just admit then that's the only reason you're putting her there.
Why?
Because she's so popular.
I think it's because she's popular and because she hasn't been bad enough to warrant not being on the team.
Wow, that's a ringing endorsement.
Well, Perloff, I'd rather have people watching. See, this is what's different about the NBA and about the NFL and some of these other leagues that have been established and around for a long, long time. They have an audience they can count on who's going to tune in. The WNBA and women's basketball in general are still trying to grow their audience. And by the way, the NFL and the NBA are still trying to grow their audiences too. But you know what I mean? This is a team that has to, and a sport that has to capitalize on the attention that it's being given. And they have something in their lap, and they're just deciding not to take it full advantage of it.
Actually, I mean, from a WNBA standpoint, this might be a good thing because, there's going to a little bit of scarcity of Caitlin Clark might be a good thing for them. So people tune in the fall, like her playing in blowouts. I assume these are all going to be blowouts. By the way, you're describing the team. Like, I don't know that that's such a huge marketing opportunity for the WNBA. It's not really a game changer, is it? Maybe internationally, I guess, but nationally, like, who cares? I mean, it's going to be in August, so she scores 7 points against Greece. That's going to affect the WNBA ratings? And of course not.
Women's basketball in general, because you might be watching her against somebody and you think, oh my gosh, and that person plays on this WNBA team. The World Baseball Classic definitely helps Major League Baseball. It all matters.
I think it's a bit marginal. I mean, I think honestly, like, she has grown the league and she's going to continue to grow the league with or without this Olympics. I think from the WNBA standpoint, you're right, probably be better to have her over there, but this is not a death knell by any means. She's definitely going to play in 2028.
Nobody said it's a death knell. It's missing out on an opportunity. Like, it's sports, which is a business. And if I was NBC, I'd be incensed. I would be. If I'm NBC and I'm paying billions of dollars for the rights here, and I've been a good Olympic partner, I want her on Team USA.
Yeah, but NBC's doing fine. They sell that as ads in 3 seconds. They don't care. I mean, they don't need this.
It's not about need. It's about opportunity. Why? See, this is the thing. It's like everyone wants to put a limit. Is this like a women's thing? Like, everyone wants to put a limit on it. Like, what? The women should be happy with what they have? Pat on the head? Good for you guys? Like, why shouldn't the women be trying to maximize this as much as humanly possible? The men get to do it. Why wouldn't the women be able to do it? Like, NBC.
Show me are they putting on Zion onto this men's team? What's going on with the men's team? How are they maximizing?
Well, he's probably too hurt, but they're putting LeBron James on and Kevin Durant on and all these old guys who they think are still faces of the league.
They're both scoring 28 points a game.
Okay. Like, it's not like Caitlin's out here playing like doo-doo.
She's scoring 16 points a game and shooting 37%. She's marginal on this team. I mean, honestly, like, the NBA is definitely not putting marketable guys out there. They're putting the best guys out there. A lot of guys who've proven it. And you say Kawhi's a joke. Kawhi's awesome when he plays. He's amazing. Like, look at his stats this year.
This is ridiculous that he should even be on the team because he's hurt. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah. And I was only making the Kawhi point to show how subjective team building is, because there's somebody who's might not even be available who gets named to the team.
Also, too, I'm looking at the women's roster. It just seems like there's not an easy drop for her. Like, there's a lot of like Hall of Famers all up and down this roster. Yeah. It's not so easy that, like, they just pencil her in, because you are leaving a veteran off who probably earned their way onto it.
Well, then you're so convinced that she's going to make it on anyway because of some kind of injury. Then you'd be snubbing another veteran. So you're going to leave off Skylar Diggins. You're going to leave off someone else who's put time in.
It looks better if it's an injury replacement. See, like, these 12. I don't know everyone's game here intimately, but I got to tell you, like, I mean, who are they cutting? Show me the easy cut. I mean, it's like Kelsey Plum and Jewel Lloyd and Breanna Stewart and star after star after star. Aja Wilson, like, I don't know. It doesn't seem like this team is chopped liver. It seems like it's pretty amazing players.
Okay.
So that's why I do I understand their logic. There's also this idea that if she does get on the team, then if she doesn't start, then people are going to get mad because people are so protective of Caitlin Clark and all that stuff.
But see, that is a bad argument because then you are admitting that you're reading the temperature of the fans and you're just deciding to go against it. Because if you're like, well, if we put her on the team but we put her on the bench, people are going to get mad. I thought you don't care what people think. Because if you did care what the fans thought, then she'd obviously be on the team. Just some numbers for you, and this is courtesy of Christine Brennan. Caitlin, 13th in the WNBA in points per game. Yeah. Diana Taurasi's 15th. Second in three-pointers made. She's 4th in assists per game. That's higher than Sabrina Ionescu, Kelsey Plum, and Jewel Lloyd, who are all on the Olympic team. Maybe she leads the league in turnovers, which is being pointed out in the chat right now at youtube.com/InfinitySportsNet because she's on a team that's not very good. And you think that the turnovers could go down if she's actually playing on this all-star team with better teammates.
I mean, listen, shooting 37% for the field and her team's 3 and 10?
Yeah, but the team sucking has no bearing on this.
Well, why do you think the team sucks? She's lead the leagues in turnovers and she's shooting 37% for the field and taking like 20 shots a game.
The team had back-to-back number 1 overall picks. Clearly, this is not a great team.
I mean, clearly, though, she's not a dominant. That's the other thing. Like, what is she going to do over there in the Olympics? Like, she's going to hit a couple threes. It's not going to be a game changer by any means. I think it's more fun to watch her try and, like, raise this bad team and be like Iowa, where she's shooting all the time, the primary scorer. I don't even think watching her in the Olympic team would be so fun. Like, it's not like she's razzle-dazzle. What's she going to do in the Olympic team that anyone's going to notice?
Hit logo threes.
She's not hitting those now, by the way.
Well, she might be hitting them if she's playing in the Olympics. 855-212-4227. So you are welcome to weigh in on Caitlin Clark. And we asked you on Twitter whether she should be on the Olympic team. And right now, 67% say yes, she should be on the Olympic team. 33% say no. You can go vote at Maggie and Pearl.
Man, I was sort of wishy-washy about this. I'm going to be off the second week of the Olympics.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Why?
Because these are not sports stories. These are something completely different. It's just something about the Olympics is just not like, ugh.
What do you mean?
Just there's too much. It's too commercial. It's too out there. Like the fact that you want, not that you, but other people want Caitlin Clark on there because it's profitable for NBC. Like, what are we doing here? It just doesn't, sometimes like this, it's supposed to be the pinnacle of competitiveness is totally anti-competitive.
And run by a bunch of crooks. Let's just document that too.
Well, it's just like this is supposed to be like the spirit of competition. And everyone's like, well, we should put her here because she's the most marketable for the WNBA.
Well, I'm not talking about NBC. I'm saying if I was an NBC executive, I'd be mad. I don't really care how much NBC makes. But if I were them, I would be upset about it.
You're totally right about that. But it's just,
and the other part is, let's not pretend.
It sounds like a reality TV show more than sports.
Okay, but also,
like sports is watching Caitlin Clark try and carry Iowa against a much better South Carolina team. Like that to me is the pinnacle.
Okay, but
not beating Greece by 40.
But you can't be so naive here. Like, of course, sports, that's what you want it to be, and you will get those Olympic moments. But let's not pretend that this is not marketing opportunities. Let's not pretend like this is not business. Sports is business. It's not always fair because it's business. And to put our head in the sand when women's basketball has this opportunity to just continue on this upward trajectory, and it's just they just took themselves off the rails, like off the track.
They're going to be fine.
What does fine mean?
I mean, the WNBA is still going to grow because people want to watch Caitlin Clark play. They're probably going to even be more eager to see her next fall after she gets a little time in the weight room and comes out and dominates. Like, wait till she starts winning, which will happen. Then she's going to be an even bigger phenomenon, not because of being probably a bench player on this Olympic team. Like, the Caitlin Clark train is not going to stop.
Do you think the Dream Team did anything to foster basketball around the world?
Oh, of course.
Right. So sometimes basketball teams matter in the Olympics. Sometimes they do. And Caitlin has had that effect on this country. She might have an effect on other countries.
So if you're talking about, but I really don't care about the international effect. I don't care if young Dirk Nowitzki sees Caitlin Clark play. I'm just saying WNBA in this country is definitely not going to slow down because of this Olympic snub. Honestly, like Caitlin Clark, this is maybe a blip, but she's still going to be pretty popular. I mean, as popular. It's not going to hurt her. It might hurt the sport as a whole, but I don't think it's going to be the disaster you think it's going to be.
I'm not saying it's a disaster. It's a missed opportunity. 855-212-4227. You're welcome to weigh in. Caitlin Clark, she gets a big reaction because she got snubbed from this team. Okay, so much more to do.
Pejorative. She's not on the team is another way to say it.
You say it how you say it, and I'll say it how I say it.
Snub means that she deserved to be on it.
I think she did.
Oh, okay. So that's the argument. Like her play deserves to make her one of the top 12 teams.
Poo-poo platter. Combo platter. Play and who she is and stature. Yeah, that's good enough for almost anyone else. It's not good enough for her. 855-212-4227. Dan Hurley, we've got an update for you on that. When could we get a decision on whether he's taking the LA Laker job? Don't move. Maggie Perloff on this Monday.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. 30 seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
A lot on the line today. As always, here at the Maggie Perloff Show, dumb wagers are being thrown left and right. We got one who's closest to the hole. When will Dan Hurley or somebody announce his decision about whether he's taking the Lakers job? Where the bet is whoever is farthest away from the right time of when Woj breaks the story has to buy breakfast. And I am safe. I have 12 noon. Bilotti has 11:59. Maggie, you have 1:12, and you wanted to coordinate it with the Inside the NBA program on ESPN.
I wasn't sure what time NBA Today comes on.
Well,
I think it's actually a little later, but
Woj had to break the first story at 7 a.m. or 6:30 a.m. Really
Something like
early
that,
in the
yeah.
morning because obviously somebody got wind of the Lakers wanted Hurley.
yeah, I mean, like Gino Auriemma.
Yeah.
Who randomly leaned over to Dan Hurley the night before and said, you could win more titles in LA than JJ Redick.
It's such a funny story in the sense that, like, when it came out, we're like, Dan Hurley, wow, I never thought of that, but that makes perfect sense. Like, how come we hadn't been talking about Dan Hurley for any other NBA jobs? Does anyone know why not? Did he ever say, I don't want to go to the NBA?
Well, no, in fact, the opposite, right? He'd been telling people he does want to test it. I think this is one of the inconsistencies about this story is that he was the target from the very beginning.
Yeah, I know.
But nobody knew or heard. And also, if he was the target from the beginning, why had they not efforted to interview him in person until Friday?
Keeping it quiet? I don't know.
You can't meet somewhere?
Well, they only did like short meetings with the other candidates. And because they said they get to know interviews. Maybe they needed to see James Borrego. I mean, kind of, we all know Danny Hurley's deal, right? This guy's on TV all the time.
Yeah, I don't know. Some of this stuff just doesn't add up to me. First of all, I feel like it's being pushed on us a lot. It's like, here's all the reasons why this makes sense, and like we would have gotten there ourselves. Like we're sports fans, we can put 2 and 2 together. He's
Everybody
a great
got
coach.
there immediately. Yeah,
I know. And that's why I feel like it's this idea that they offered him this long, lucrative contract before they ever met with him.
So what do you? It sounds like you're describing something. What strikes you as fishy about this?
Sorry, the idea that maybe, and I think he's going to take the Laker job, so let me just say that, but is there an idea that he was perhaps trying to give UConn an opportunity to match or to come in with a bigger offer or something? Because it's like this full court press of how excited both sides are and how far down the road they are, yet he's not taking the job, still wants to sleep on it, flew back to Connecticut. They had never met in person. Yet they knew there was this like love affair between the two sides. I don't know.
So you think it's a negotiating ploy, or it could be?
I think that I would not be surprised if he heard a last and final offer from UConn.
See, I don't think so. Only because his current contract with UConn is 6 years, $32 million, and the number's supposed to be $10 million per year. With the Lakers, $110 million. Doesn't feel like a great, like they're not close enough to even negotiate against each other.
No, I get it. And I know this is a very small example and it's rather local, so forgive me. But there was a situation, and I know this is going to sound silly, but it did happen, where the governor of New Jersey had to get involved with Greg Schiano getting hired by Rutgers again. Right. Like literally the governor got involved.
Well, yeah, but the Connecticut governor has had to give Gino Auriemma and Dan Hurley his last contract. That's a thing, right?
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. So, like, I don't know. You're saying they're far apart, but, like, who knows who could close the gap when people that powerful have to get involved?
No, like, they had to do, like, the governor had to get involved for, like, a $2 million raise. He can't triple his salary for a state employee.
For the years, too. Like that's a ridiculous gap. That's not happening.
Well, maybe Dan Hurley doesn't need to make as much money for the Lakers. Again, I think he's going to take the Laker job, guys. I get it. I think they're pushing the Bronny aspect on us and how much sense this make when we all thought it would make sense. Like, you don't have to push it on us.
They're pushing the Bronny aspect.
Yes, Woj and and
Bogusch,
et
who's
cetera.
pushing the Bronny angle this story?
Maggie.
Wait a minute. I'm simply
Maggie, too.
explaining it.
Loser buys lunch.
Caitlin Clark also on the table.
Don't change the subject.
Was she snubbed? I'm definitely changing the subject. Dan's in Arkansas. Hi, Dan.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
So I was calling today, you guys were talking about the Caitlin Clark Olympic roster
Yeah, tell us what you think.
situation. Yeah, I think, I saw the roster the other day, and I was thinking to myself, if there was somebody to leave off, who would it be? And ironically, I thought it would be Diana Taurasi, with her recent statements about Caitlin and the physicality of the game and that kind of thing. But the reasons I thought that she should be the one left off was for the exact same reason. If we want Caitlin Clark to be our representative of the country in the Olympics going forward, we would want her to get that experience as early as possible. And Diana, as an aging star, seems to be the person that would be the one to go. As much as she's an American icon in women's basketball, at some point we need to replace her.
Right. And I think that having Caitlin on the team with Diana, Dan, thanks for the call, could be good to have like the passing of the torch situation or a kind of teaching moment. Chelsea Gray has also been named to this team, and she hasn't played in 8 months because of a foot injury. So there is going to be some kind of injury replacement, but I don't know if it's going to be Caitlin.
Actually, and this is to support your side, it would be kind of cool to see Diana Taurasi pass the ball to Caitlin Clark. That'd be neat. Like kind of passing the torch.
Thank you.
But I mean, I don't know. It's not the end all to be all.
No, I said they could gel together. Parents are like, what are they doing? They're just over there hanging out. It's like,
cool.
kind of.
It'd be a cool highlight, like Michael Jordan at the end of his career playing Allen Iverson at the beginning of his career, that kind of thing. But I don't think they need to gel. I mean, also, too, they shouldn't gel. Like sports guys, people on different teams should be competitive. Like they should hate each other like the old days.
Okay, but I heard about the Dream Team, and it was only Michael Jordan and Charles Barkley playing cards until 4 o'clock in the morning, and everyone loves those stories.
Yeah, but Michael Jordan was gaming everybody by getting them all to be soft by the time he had to play them in the final. Michael Jordan really, at the end of the day, just cared about winning NBA Finals.
Diana Taurasi and Caitlin Clark do not seem like they are in the same, let's say, stratosphere in terms of personality.
Oh, I thought you meant in terms of accomplishments.
Wait,
No.
What do you mean personality? Like they don't seem to be friends, or you're saying they have different
I feel like they're very opposite.
Yeah, but isn't that like anything? The more you get to know somebody, the more they probably have in common. I mean, they probably have a very similar kind of life, I
don't think she would have made those statements if she didn't want to have nothing to do with her.
Wait, well, how are they different? I don't understand.
I just, from what I've seen, personality-wise, I just think they're very different. And I don't see a passing of the torch of anything coming from Diana Taurasi.
See, I thought Taurasi's comments got a little overblown. I mean, she said it was going to be a tough adjustment to the WNBA, and she's been absolutely right.
I told you, my daughter's friends live next door to Diana Taurasi in Phoenix.
Oh, yeah.
Greatest neighbor of all time. Could not be nicer. So and that's why I'm on Team Taurasi.
Get a boots on the ground.
But Taurasi
I'm not killing her, but
she has an edge a little bit when she in interviews. But I think she seems like she's settled down a lot, and I think she'd be a good teammate. I don't know. I mean, she's won a ton. I saw this game the other day. Like she's like Caitlin. Like she'll get hot from outside. It's awesome to watch. I don't want to kick her off the team. That's what this caller did.
I'm not kicking her off the team. I don't want Taurasi coming after me. Bogusch, you've got headlines for us. Hello.
Everyone does seem to think that Gray, who you mentioned, like that's the door for Clark to get on the team. If she's not recovered from her injury in a month, that's how Caitlin gets in. Because you have to replace like part for like part.
Yep.
So Taurasi's not a point guard.
Yep.
That's what Caitlin is. Gray's a point guard. So that's the place where if she gets on, it's going to be through that avenue, not by kicking off a forward or a center.
That makes sense. There we go. It's kind of.
I feel like that's kind of cheap that she gets in just in the injury replacement. But she said she'd do it. So.
Yeah. But I guess the question then is, why is somebody who has not played a WNBA game, even though I think she's 30, she's an established player, had averaged 8 assists a game last year. Why is she on when you don't know if she's going to be
play.
ready?
Exactly, because people say this is a meritocracy, and it's like, well, what if somebody can't play? Clearly she's on the team as some sort of ceremonial thing saying that you're the best point guard in the WNBA. We know that. So we're going to put you on this team even though you can't play.
And the men do this too. It's very much like who's part of the program. Like you're in and then you stay in, and it's almost like a union. Someone's got to leave for you to get in, and then you start the cycle.
Nightclub.
Right. So there's like a lot. Like I think almost everyone on the roster has played in some form or fashion recently for USA basketball in the Olympics, either the 5-on-5 or the 3-on-3. So like you're in the clique. So you stay in until they can't keep you around anymore.
Also, did you see who made the 3-on-3? Haley Van Lith.
Yeah.
Like, how are you doing meritocracy for the 3-on-3?
So one of the things I read yesterday said that Caitlin Clark has like declared herself not a 3-on-3 player. I guess it's that specific or that different of a skill set. So like she didn't want to be considered for that thing either.
I get it.
Did Haley Van Lith not make the WNBA?
She's still in college.
Still in college.
Oh, she's still in college.
Yeah, I think Cam Brink's on the 3-on-3 team too.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, Cam Brink is also.
Also, by the way, and there's another sub, Rike Ogunbowale.
Yeah.
She's supposed to make the team too, right? That's
Number 2 scorer in the league, not on.
Yeah. So that's the other thing too. If there's one injury replacement, it might not be Caitlin, which would be.
We can do this whole thing all over again in a couple days. Lovely.
Meanwhile, Jason Kidd tried to play mind games with the Celtics in between games 1 and 2 of the finals, saying Jaylen Brown was Boston's best player, not Jason Tatum. It didn't work out well last night, and Joe Mazzulla didn't appreciate the effort.
I'm really tired of hearing about one guy or this guy or that guy and everybody trying to make it out to be anything other than Celtic basketball. And everybody that stepped on that court tonight made winning plays on both ends of the floor. That's the most important thing.
Drew Holiday was Boston's leading scorer last night, 26 points plus 11 boards. Brown scored 21, 18 from Tatum. Derek White had 18 while blocking a P.J. Washington dunk that could have made this a one-possession game in the final minute. The Celtics getting a 105-98 win and a 2-0 series lead. Luka Doncic has work to do.
That's with the number 1 team in the NBA, with the number 1 record. They have a lot of great players. Basically, anybody can get off.
Another triple-double for Luka last night, 32 points, 11 rebounds, 11 assists, but all he cared about post-game were his 8 turnovers and 4 missed free throws. Kyrie Irving added just 16 points, missing 11 of 18 shots in his second straight subpar game. The next 2 games are in Dallas, but the Celtics have yet to lose on the road this postseason. Game 3 Wednesday night. Certainly by then, maybe any moment now, we'll know who Dan Hurley will be coaching next season. He told ESPN he'll choose between UConn and the Lakers as soon as today. LA apparently made a, quote, compelling case to move cross-country.
What about his wife, though?
I know.
Yeah.
She hates money.
She apparently loves Connecticut and Rhode Island and the Northeast.
I get it.
She's the one that's
for
confused.
office.
Maggie thinks I'm crazy. I totally get it. I don't want to live in LA. I'd much rather live in some cushy East Coast life.
Right, but you go to San Bernardino, like Pete said last week, and then you're fine.
Right.
Fresno.
It's much like Hartford.
Pete and I watch these real estate shows, man. I don't even know if $10 million a year is going to get you a spot in San Bernardino.
I love how he's going to be living in a 2-bedroom apartment in the valley, making $10 million a year. It's going to be a tough life for them, the Hurleys.
I don't think I think the Lakers are the choice. You cannot eliminate them from this. Whatever. He's going to the Lakers.
Thank you, Pete. You just short circuit. What just happened over there? You okay?
I'm tired.
Ellie de la Cruz. Ellie.
That's a tough one.
Where are those Duncan points? When you need them.
Ogunbowale.
The Yankees avoided a 3-game sweep from the Dodgers with a 6-4 win last night in the Bronx. Aaron Judge capped the scoring with his 24th homer of the season. We did not see Juan Soto all weekend thanks to that left forearm tightness. Aaron Boone said Soto was not a pinch-hitting option last night, but is getting close.
He did a lot pregame and went pretty well, so we'll see about availability now for tomorrow.
The Yankees starting a road trip in Kansas City tonight. The Washington Mystics still don't have a win this WNBA season, falling in Brooklyn yesterday afternoon, 93-88.
Right.
They are 0-12, 5 shy of the worst start in league history. That belongs to the 2008 Atlanta Dream. And this is an odd story, maybe only interests me. Other hockey fans will know the website capfriendly.com. It includes every piece of contract data you could ever need And now the Washington Capitals are buying it with the intention of taking the site offline. That will not happen, though, until after the draft and the start of free agency. So sometime in early to mid-July, one of the most useful sites on the planet is going dark.
Well, one team doesn't want to spend. That leads
Hey. You just had like half a seizure on air. Sit one out. Take a break. We'll see you tomorrow.
It's a quarter.
Man,
It's weird.
It's weird. It's
just told you what
suppressing
happened.
information. It's like, someone else is just going to do the website,
Yeah.
right? Like, this is whack-a-mole. You're never going to be able to keep this information offline.
Right. So what's the point?
I don't understand. I get why you'd want to sell it, cash out, move on to another project, do nothing else. I'd love to be rich and not work. So I get why the website would want to take somebody's cash, but I don't understand the team doing this because everyone else knows that stuff anyway. Like they didn't have unique information that you're not trying to hide from everybody else.
Yeah, they just aggregate it. They just put it all in one place.
Yeah, and like if you're a team, you have access to everyone's contract, so you know incentives, bonuses, structure. Like, so I don't understand why the Capitals want to buy this to hide it.
It's not even the team. The agents always want the money out there because that's their best calling card, is saying how much they've gotten each player.
What's funny, it reminds me of former Washington owner Dan Snyder used to play games. So like if a reporter was too close to the story, he'd have the NFL hire that guy. There's a rumor out there.
To kill the story?
Well, he couldn't get the guy fired, so he would get him a new job or something. I don't know. There were always rumors about Dan Snyder was always trying to control the press corps in a similar way. Like, it's not a sign
What is he,
of
the
strength.
National Enquirer? It's like catch and kill? Good grief.
Yeah,
kind of. I think that's
Big
exactly what I
time.
just described.
In a huge way. I don't know if any of that's true, but I do think that teams do try and control the narratives. This is just a bizarre way to do it.
Right.
Sasquatch.
It's like buying fan graphs and be now you can't, no one can ever know what fielding independent ERA is again. It's a really strange thing.
Yeah, but people do it in politics. They buy papers all the time. That's
But like the thing is this is straight fact. This website, there's no opinion, there's no exposés.
Editorials.
Right. It's just a place where you can go and find how much money a third line center is making. And so why do you need to hide that from everyone? I don't know. And no one's explained it.
It sounds like an elaborate plan by some Bond villain, or some kind of 2-bit villain. Like, we'll buy all the info.
We'll put lasers on the sharks.
Yeah, exactly.
What if A-Rod tried to buy the Maggie and Perloff show because I was overly critical of Rudy Gobert last week on the T-Wolves?
And then redesign us as some kind of Rudy Gobert fan club?
I have no idea.
Maggie and Rudy in the morning.
I don't know what A-Rod would do with us. It wouldn't be good,
David
though.
Ortiz.
Gray and Gobert sounds pretty good.
I know.
French? How's your French?
Horrible.
Because Rudy Gobert is very likable. He's a popular dude.
Popular guy.
Yeah.
100% approval rating on that dude.
Yeah. And A-Rod, too. The two of them.
That was a funny line, though, that A-Rod had. It was very canned, unfortunately, because everything about A-Rod is just so... just
cringe.
Yeah, cringe and just sort of plotted out. When David Ortiz said, why don't you have your number in Monument Park? And he said, Big Papi, you're more likely to have your number in here than me. If it had actually been off the cuff, it would have been a great line, but you can tell they rehearsed it 3 times and someone probably wrote it. It was just bad.
I like A-Rod.
Damn, Bogusch.
What do you like about him?
I mean, come on.
He's a good player.
He's a good commentator. I don't know what's wrong with that.
You liked Sunday Night Baseball with A-Rod?
I don't like Sunday Night Baseball. I like A-Rod, though.
Yeah. That's a tough one.
I miss Dan Schulman. Dan Schulman and A-Rod would have been good.
It was Matt Vasgersian.
I don't like him.
Oh.
I like Dan Schulman.
I
want Dan Schulman back.
What did Matt Vasgersian ever do to you?
Oh, he's a studio host. He's not a play-by-play announcer.
So is A-Rod. A-Rod's better in the studio.
A-Rod's an analyst.
Yeah.
I will give you, I'm not an A-Rod fan, but that guy does know baseball. I will give you that.
But he was brutal on the games. He was better in the studio. He needs to talk in 30-second sound bites. It's perfect for him.
Yeah, I do like. I like when he gets interviewed. I like when he gets interviewed and asked about players. He's generally overly positive, but he's good at that. I don't know who's sitting there watching the Sunday Night Baseball with the volume on.
I'm not.
Well, you're not going to sync the radio to it. You just put it on. You don't pay attention.
I do my own commentary.
I prefer the ESPN NBA halftime show where everyone gets to talk for 4 seconds, and then they go to 9 hours of commercials. Then the game starts again. That's my perfect show.
It's tough.
Bob Myers, what do you think? Well, thank you.
The 4 of them complete one sentence and they go back to break.
It really is an unbelievable TV product.
Well, it's just funny. I saw Brian Curtis brought this up last night, which is like for some reason they started showing just like throwback pictures of the 1970s Knicks. What are we doing here?
No.
They 30 seconds.
They pick old. They did
Yeah.
the 64 Sixers or Warriors. I'm like, why are they showing Paul Arizin or whatever? I couldn't understand what was going on.
Why is Dave DeBuscher on the screen?
Yeah.
Why was Josh Hart there? Listen, there was 8 people, like a special guest, Josh Hart, to say nothing.
That's what they
You throwing
Martian.
Mike and Ike's at people?
Dr. Joyce Brothers going to be around?
That would be great. Martian said clearly ESPN got the message that there was too much Knicks coverage, so they put Josh Hart in the middle of the finals.
It's unbelievable. I watched it. There was an old. Sorry, I know we're running out of time. There's an NBA on NBC promo of the '93 finals about Jordan going against Barkley. It was poetry. I'm like, whatever they were doing, ESPN is the exact opposite. I was so fired up when Casas and NBC and all that was going on. This is like. All I do is think, why isn't this game on TNT so it could be interesting?
Okay, do you want to know a little secret to the sauce here? TNT has almost the same thing. They have very short segment for their halftime show. The post game, they'll go on forever. But the halftime show, it's the same, but they'll make it funny. They do funny tweets and silly things, so you're left sort of feeling good.
Well,
it's a TV trick.
But not, you're saying just for finals. Because during the season, like Kenny runs to the monitor and races Shaq and all that
They'll
stuff.
do that. So that's, I bet if you really timed out that segment, I bet it's no more than 4.5 minutes or something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's weird because I feel like ESPN gets no time in it.
They don't. And then they have to go right to SportsCenter after it's over, so you get no post-game.
And I bet the best TNT clips are not halftime. It's pregame and postgame. When they have more
Kenny
time
definitely
to riff.
runs to the monitor. That's
But
one of the funniest
at
things.
halftime, though?
Yeah, at halftime,
But
always.
Perloff, it's like your tweet that we have up here that they put it on inside the NBA. I'm sure that was a halftime thing because it's just like for a second and they do funny GIFs and funny things.
I think that was postgame, but yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure. I think during the finals it gets harder too. I think there's less time. I'm not sure.
Yeah, probably more ads. 855-212-4227. Thank you. I actually like ESPN. I didn't feel like we need to pile on them on this one.
We do. They stink. I like the NBA on NBC. Let's go.
They do a great
Bring it
job.
back.
Don't worry, it will be there soon enough. Coming up, we've got everything you need to look for tonight. Big night in sports. Don't move.
You're in a 5-minute break.
Believe Biglotti's got something to say. Infinity's mice. He's feeling the dismay. No NBA on NBC. What a shame. Just JJ Redick's wine ain't the same. Peter Bellotti is getting upset. Maggie Perloff, can you hear his plea? Bring back the NBA on NBC. Set his spirit free. He misses Ma. Co-stars and the crew, those were the days. Pete cries out, boo, boo. Bring it back, oh can't you see? Bring back the NBA on NBC. Let it be. Pete's mad, he's feeling sad. Bring it back, oh make it right. Believe Biglotti's got something to say. Infinity's mice. He's feeling the dismay. No NBA on NBC. What a shame. Just JJ Redick's wine ain't the same. Peter Bellotti is getting upset. Maggie Perloff, can you hear his plea? Bring back the NBA on NBC. Set his spirit free. He misses Ma. Co-stars and the crew, those were the days. Pete cries out, boo, boo.
3 minutes remaining. 2 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Want a twist and a turn?
Absolutely.
Are you ready for a twist and a turn? Welcome back, by the way. Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. According to Mark Stein, Dan Hurley isn't the only college coach who may be on the radar for the Los Angeles Lakers. So the Lakers now apparently have, I guess, Perloff, offered the job to Dan Hurley, and he's the one who's sleeping on it, and he's expected to make a decision on this long and lucrative contract. According to Mark Stein, former Villanova head coach Jay Wright could be a quote-unquote stealth candidate for the Lakers opening.
Wow.
Yeah, he said, quote, "I've been warned early on by one well-placed insider for what it's worth to stay ready in case former Villanova coach Jay Wright emerged as a stealth candidate," he wrote on his Substack. The backstory is sure to surface sooner rather than later, presumably soon after the Lakers do or do not land Danny Hurley. So we thought J.J. Redick could have been plan B for the Lakers if Dan Hurley said no. Maybe it's Jay Wright.
Jay Wright's actually, just on the surface, a way better fit than Dan Hurley. Because Jay Wright's got those fancy suits, like in the as an homage to Pat Riley. Like, that would be me. And he's also not that old. I just looked, he's 62. If you're going college coach, I think Jay Wright's just as good as Dan Hurley, if not better.
I've mentioned him on numerous occasions, Jay Wright.
Yeah.
He seems like the guy, even though he's in the booth right now or doing broadcasting, that didn't finish his career.
Yeah, he's too young to call
that
quits.
there's something there left for him to do.
Well, I think he turned down the Knicks and the Sixers jobs a couple different times, I would imagine.
Yeah, that sounds right.
But the Lakers is different. You know, the Lakers is very, very different.
Marquee franchise.
Without a doubt. I mean, not that the Knicks and Sixers aren't big. The Knicks may be a little bit bigger just because it's New York, but the Lakers are the Lakers. I mean, I said it's like the British Empire. The sun never sets on the Lakers. It's the Laker fans are all over the world.
It's funny. There was, I think it was Colin Cowherd said, and it went super viral, that Danny Hurley should wait out the Knicks job if he wants to stay on the East Coast. But I was actually thinking Tom Thibodeau, it seems like he's got a nice run ahead of him.
Yeah, I mean, Who knows?
I mean,
Coaches in the NBA come and go.
The Knicks job is probably just as good as the Lakers job. I mean, the Lakers job is your roster's kind of pinned too. Like it's gonna be hard to build a dynasty there, right? You need like a young star, but you're never gonna be good enough to get like a young LeBron. Maybe you do the free agent thing.
I don't know. I'd be both of these come with a lot of headaches, but a lot of pluses, a lot of perks. I don't know, but I'm not that surprised by this. What I'm more surprised is, does this actually knock JJ Redick even further down the ladder here? Like, was JJ Redick was he ever actually in the running for this job, or was this just one big hoax?
Yeah,
it's a hoax.
And if that's true, what does that say about
Shams, who was the one who had it, who's a very trusted insider?
That is, well, it's not done yet. Who knows? Maybe J.J. Redick will be the Lakers coach in 3 days, and this whole thing will make sense in some way. Jay Wright would be an interesting hire. That'd be pretty good. Once you open that door to college coaches, gosh, is there any other former college coaches out there? Jim Boeheim?
As the Laker coach? Wow, that'd be a
Gino Auriemma.
Change of scenery.
Coach K could hire Coach K.
Can I also just can I pose this? I know sometimes I get accused of being conspiracy theorist around here. Is it possible that they want to put the Jay Wright name out there, the Lakers do, to get Danny Hurley to say yes to the job?
Yes.
Like, hey, we got another fox in the hen house. I'm not really sure what I want to say. That we have another person who might be interested. So don't take your sweet time. We are going to need an answer.
Oh, my God.
Nothing is how it
Machiavellian mind games you think these NBA front offices are playing. Rob Pelinka and Jeannie Buss and the crew, or it's like, yeah, they are really doing all this.
Don't sleep on Linda Rambis. She's a killer. Thank you to Manny Rodriguez. Thank you to Pete Bellotti, Andrew Bogusch, Andrew Kaplan, Guido's Coffee Drinkers. You guys are awesome today, as you always are. Bye.
Rike Ogunbowale.